You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to Jeff when we got the fans. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and meet, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one long chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yo.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode number 19 of the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. And tonight we welcome back Reggie to the show. What's up, Reggie?
How's it going, guys? Glad to be back.
Yo. Welcome back, man. Thanks for coming back.
Always good to see you, man. And tonight, guys, we are going to have a fighting game special for you guys. So we're going to talk about our favorite fighting games. We've got a fighting game quiz for you guys. And then we're going to try and make a definitive top 5 franchise fighting game list between the three of us. So that should be pretty fun.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be tough, but yeah.
I think the hardest part of that will be what do we include as a fighting game and what doesn't fit in, and we'll get into that soon.
Yeah.
Power Stone.
What have you been up
Just
to,
kidding.
Reggie?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just finishing up some reviews, trying to get back on track with the channel, release some videos, like 2 videos a week. I've been behind for like the last month, but getting back on track. I almost hit that 100,000 subscribers, which I'm a few away now. So
So close.
Yeah.
Hit that button, guys.
I know,
That's
pretty
awesome,
crazy.
man.
If I was actively doing a lot of videos, I probably would have been there by now, but still, we're almost there. I'm going to a convention pretty soon here in Portland. I'm pretty excited about. So, yeah, man, lots going on.
That's
Nice.
awesome,
Good
man.
shit.
Yeah, dude, I loved your latest beat 'em ups episode. There's really good stuff in there, man. A lot of interesting games you showed.
I started that video like 2 months ago, and I barely finished it, which is not like me at all, man. Usually I'll start a video, I finish it, but I've been getting pulled around, so the video got delayed. But I'm glad you guys liked it, man. Well, you liked it too. Did you see it, Figsy?
Yeah, I watched it as well. I'm
Okay.
enjoying the videos that you're doing on different genres of games,
Mhm.
showing off.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I noticed my channel had a lack of like top 10 type videos. So I said, let's change that. Because I'm always doing pickups and stuff like that. So wanted to get back into like, here's the knowledge of these certain games you get people might want to check out. So yeah.
There are also good YouTube videos. People see a top 10 list and click on it. They don't have to be
Immediately.
But if it's a good video and good content, they stay around and watch. So it works
Right.
both ways.
So for someone like me, I love that stuff because I the way I collect is I always do like little subgenres. I'll get like hooked on for a little while. Like I'm gonna buy nothing but beat 'em ups this week, or I'm gonna get nothing but fighting games for this week. And so that's how I always stumble on those lists. If you have like a little like top 10 this and you have a few, I watch all those because I want to know. Like it's so helpful. That's why I
Yeah.
said like when you talk about sharing the knowledge. Like that
Yes.
work that people put in stuff, man, I appreciate it because it
Yeah.
really makes a difference. Yeah, especially when you think you just. I love it. Like people like Figsy. This like here's all of it, and I'll show you what's good and what's bad. I don't care, but here's all of it. Now you can decide whether or not you want to go for this bad one or not. I like with my shmups, for example. Like I have so many that are terrible, but I'm just committed to getting them.
Sort
all.
through them later, man. You decide, like,
Yeah.
should I keep this? You know what's funny about the fighting games? Like when I was actually editing video on my cell phone years ago, I actually did like a top 30 of fighting games. And man, that video was so weird to put together, but I actually got it done. And I had like a bunch of different like fighting games on there that people don't even know about. Like people don't know there's a Fist of the North Star 2D fighting game by Arc Systems. That was on there. And a lot of PS1 fighting games a lot of people didn't know about either was on that list. So there's so many fighting games out there that people don't know about. It's really insane. Like, have you guys heard of a game called Spectacle versus Generation?
Ooh, I can't say I have.
No.
Yeah, I thought I was going to grab it here, but man, that's a fighting game that plays like an SNK game. Like it's so cool, but it's made by not Capcom or SNK. It's on the PSP. It's on the PS2, and it only came out in Japan and PAL territory. So basically, you're good to go on it. You can probably find it cheap.
Just check
But yeah,
my
man.
walls if I've got it.
But hey,
You
that's
might
one
have
of the
it.
that's one of the beautiful things about this genre is you can play Japanese games. You don't need English to play fighting games at all.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
no problem.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even if you get into the moves list, you're good. The arrows look the same. The squares look the
Buttons
same.
are still the same.
Yeah,
You
you're
just can't
good.
see what the move's called.
Yeah, and even in the English version, when they yell stuff, it ain't English anyway. It's usually it's just something I don't know what the hell they're saying anyway, or it's some crazy thing that doesn't matter. So,
And
yeah.
you're right, Joe. Like even if you've played one before, even if the menus are in Japanese, you can still go navigate the menus, you know, and different things like that.
Yeah, I just gotta write down what the modes are and stuff like that. It's not that hard, but yeah, that's one I like any games like that where you don't have to worry about the language. Like it's the one unfortunate thing about RPGs. They're just forbidden until someone wants to translate them because that's too much work for me.
You know, it's weird, man. Like I was so hardcore about Final Fantasy VIII back in the day that I actually got the Japanese version because I couldn't wait for the English one, and I played all the way to disc 3, not knowing what was happening, but I kind of interpreted, hey, this is probably what they're talking about. But what a thrill! But yeah, I wouldn't.
That's impressive, to be honest, man. I tried that. I got Phantasy Star Nova for the Vita because I love Phantasy Star, and I just was like, I want more Phantasy Star, and this is all I can get. So we'll try it, and it was all right. I could play a few things, but it just wasn't. I want to be able to read what the heck the story is, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to know
what's going on.
It's
the main point, yeah.
Yeah,
You want
I
to know
can
what's
play
going
it
on.
and kill the monsters, but I'm like, it's just not doing it for me. So.
Yes, I love how your videos convinced me to pick up Slap Happy Rhythm Busters, Reggie. Yes, that was in that video I was talking about. And Slap Happy Rhythm Busters is a game that should have came out to America and PAL territories, but it only came out in Japan. It even has some English text in the game too, which is crazy. But another fighting game. It's a rhythm fighting game. So
I'm trying to imagine this game in my head, man.
Well, it's a mix of Bust the Groove, like our Dance Revolution. When you do your super move, when you enter the sequence of your super move, you have to do a Dance Revolution type thing. And if you get it right, you pull off your super move, and it's great. I wish I could have showed it to you guys.
Dude, I probably love it. I love rhythm games, so
yeah,
I'm sure I'd be down for that. Yeah, dude, I'm a huge fan of that.
Whenever I see a new rhythm game, Joe, you instantly come to mind. Did you pick up the new Switch game that was free? It was this rhythm like party game. I forget the name of it.
I think I heard about it.
And that's the last week in Nintendo Direct.
I haven't picked up anything. They remade. God, what is it? That monkey game. He has like maracas. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Sambo D'Amiga or
yeah. That one looks pretty good. That one was pretty fun. I might pick that up. But yeah, I'm still hooked on Beat Saber and Hatsune Miku, dude. So can't get enough. But I bought like quite a few of the PS4 rhythm games. I have most of them. The question is, do I want to drop the money and get a Rock Band set? I don't know.
Yeah, piecing all that together, man.
Kind of, but not really. Like even if I got it, it would just put it. I don't have friends who would come over and play with me. So
back in the day before social media, man, like everybody's going to each other's houses playing Rock Band, making it like it was a real concert. It was pretty on point,
dude. All the time. I had a friend who got actually pretty good at drums from playing Rock Band. For somebody who didn't play drums, he got pretty good at playing drums from playing Rock Band. Yeah.
See, that's interesting because you wouldn't get good at guitar playing Guitar Hero. Because it's just hitting buttons, but drums is the same thing. Like vocals would be the same, right? If you sung at SingStar all the time, you're going to get better at singing.
That's true. Although my roommate's been singing Rock Band for quite some time, and he has not gotten better.
When is the last Rock Band game that came out? Was it for 7th generation PS2, or did it come out?
No, we got PS4 Rock Band.
It's a PS4 Rock Band. Yeah,
but does it come with all the equipment too?
Yeah, it came with all the equipment.
Oh, okay. I must have missed out on our maybe I'm thinking of Guitar Hero.
There was two versions of it: the Rock Band 4, and then there was like a DLC type version of it. It's quite expensive now, so
it's it's extremely expensive
because the parts that come with it, it kind of reminds me of Steel Battalion. Like you have to have that controller.
Yeah.
You know, that controller was authentic too, man. Like no joke. I can understand why it was so expensive back in the day. But yeah.
So
So
that's
cool to have one today, though. Like, I've seen people play it. It's like, oh, that looks so much fun.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. And I'm like, gosh, I love those peripherals and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
I have the drum. Have you ever played the drum rhythm game? What the hell is it?
Yeah,
Tatsujin?
Tatsuya.
No, I can't
Oh,
say it.
Tessin, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I picked that up for the Switch just because there's like more physical games for it available on the Switch. There's like 3 you can pick up, and I think there's only 1 on the PS4 that I know of. There might be 2. But I just love having those like peripherals, man. And they have like a giant ass drum you can order, and like I kind of want it. It's
Yeah.
massive, dude. It's like this big. It's like seriously, like this
So
is
cool.
hell
Reminds me of
yeah,
like a
dude.
marching band drum or something.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive, but it's like got some serious weight to it, and like I don't know if anyone's ever played it, but the little ones, like they're kind of a pain in the ass because like when you hit them, they move a little bit constantly, and they're constantly moving around. So you have to always figure out a way to like brace the thing. So you either have to like I put like weights. I have like weightlifting weights, and I like put them all around it and like build like a cage so it can't move. So I play, but so I don't know. It's kind of annoying, but I want the giant one just because I figured that thing won't move. It'll just stay put, and you can play it. And I don't know. Maybe I'll be better at the game too.
It came out on PS2 back in the day first. If I recall.
It might have. I don't know.
I'm pretty
But
sure
they
there's
have-
a drum for the PS2 as well. I recall seeing one and I picked up once. I definitely know it got a Switch release and it got a PS4 release.
Yeah, I know it has for Switch and PS4, and I wouldn't be surprised because Japan got a bunch of cool stuff at PS2 that we never got. So
Way
Yeah, like
better stuff than us,
VR.
man.
yeah, tons of cool accessories. But yeah, down the road, like that's just I love having this stuff. Like you guys got I got like the Donkey Kong bongos for the GameCube. You ever played that thing?
Yeah.
I love that stuff, dude. That stuff's just cool, man. And it's like people come over and they're like they don't know a lot about games, and it's like, dude, what the hell is that? Why do you have bongos? I'm like, sit down, son. I'll show you why I got bongos. And it's just like so fun to play them, dude. Like so fun, dude. I love rhythm games.
Well, Joe, talking about playing games with friends, I think fighting games is a really good thing to talk about because I don't play fighting games much anymore. And me and Joe talked about this just before the podcast started. And I put that down because I don't live with my brother anymore. But growing up as a kid, I had a brother who was 2 years younger than me. So fighting games were perfect because we could play together. Like it was always, if it was a single player game, it's taking turns. But fighting games are always playing together, always against each other, always about the same skill level too, because we had about the same amount of hours. Where today, if I pick up a fighting game, it's either I play when a friend comes over who will probably say, no, I don't want to play that because you're really good at it or they're really good at it or vice versa. Or it's go online and, you know, play against people who are experienced and actually have to get good in the game, where the single player experience just doesn't do that for me.
I hear you on that. You know, when it comes to fighting games, like my first fighting game that I remember seeing was actually Street Fighter Part 1. But I didn't see anybody playing it. But I tried it out though because no one was playing it, and I was like, "Oh, this is horrible." I don't think it was until I mean, obviously Street Fighter 2 was kind of like what got the genre popular.
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually playing like
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
And Mortal Kombat, yeah. But I was actually the guy playing SNK games because, you know, while people were playing Street Fighter, I was on the SNK machine. I was like, man, this is way better. And nobody was there to disturb me either. Fatal Fury Part 1 was like the first game I kind of got into. I kind of beat. Fatal Fury Part 1 is kind of all over the place because it's not really a balanced game. But there's a mechanic you use with Andy Bogard to keep doing the flying elbow move to beat all your enemies pretty easily. But Fatal Fury 2 is where it got serious at, and that was like the first fighting game I beat, man. Like really with skill, and ever since that happened, man, that was like just fighting games. I just started looking at fighting games in a different way than I did before, like more serious and more fun. One of the funnest time I had with fighting games was actually back in high school. You guys know I'm around the PlayStation era. I brought Street Fighter EX from my buddy. And man, my friends came over. We played that game. We thought it was so amazing, dude. We had Street Fighter EX is fun, man. Like, dude, and it's skillful too. It was so much fun. And I remember like after we would fight each other and beat each other, we were laughing like the loser, and we would show the replay. And the replay, you could change the camera angles and see how they got hit and punched and everything. It's freaking hilarious. We used to get mad, but it was all good fun. But man, those are some of my more fonder times in fighting games. We didn't play like tournament level, but we played for fun. And you know, that's how it was. I see a lot of the gamers now, man. Like now that you can make money at it, man, they serious business, man. Like, ugh. I'm like,
it
wow,
is serious.
Dude. Yeah.
Dude, just the gear is insane. It's like my fight stick is $600. Oh my god. Oh, jeez.
Well, there's esports for fighting games. Look at Super Smash. Like it has an entire decade plus of esports history.
I would never think that game would have been like a serious competitor for a fighting game. But look at it now, dude. It's one of the top ones.
See, I wish, and there's a part of me that wishes I grew up a little bit later, because I was so hardcore into Tekken 3 at one point that like I think I've hung if there was like that sort of scene. I think I could have done all right in that, because like me and my so back in the day, it was always like I played with my brothers and my friends, and the way it would work is we would all like be in the similar skill level, like you said, until one SOB would be like, I'm spending all weekend practicing.
Real quick,
and then
oh, sorry, go ahead. Well, Johnny Millennium's in the chat, man. He says I'm pretty good at Street Fighter, but I gotta give a shout out to him, man. We were even in Street Fighter, so he's up there.
No, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, happy console gamer. I saw that. What's up, Johnny? Thanks for stopping by.
Love your vibes, man.
Heck yeah. So my friends, like I said, so somebody would just like take it too far and practice too much, and then the next weekend we'd all meet up and play, and that one person would whoop everybody, and then we'd all be like, well, this can't stand, and then we'd all start practicing, and we all would just get better and better and better and better at the game, and so we all got pretty good. And then it got to the point where like in Tekken 3, like you can reverse moves. I don't know, you know when you try to attack people, you can grab their move and reverse people, but then you can reverse reverses. It's called doing a chicken. And like me and two people got to the point where we could start to do the chickens, and that's when like everybody else tapped out. They were like, screw you guys.
You got good at doing it.
I don't want to play this no more. Like you guys have taken it to a level that I don't want to play anymore. So then me and my younger brother and this one kid, we got like so good at those games, and we would be so vicious trying to beat each other. It was so fun, dude. I loved it. But like you said, Figsy, once I got older and like we don't hang out with I don't see those people anymore. Just I don't know. I still sit around playing fighting games by myself, so it's kind of fell off. And now there's the big scene and there's the online stuff, so I could probably get back into it, but I don't know.
I think for me, what got me out of it, hanging out with like mates after high school and drinking and stuff, we would always sit all together and we play UFC games or boxing games, and the way we do it, whether there's 5 or 10 in the room, we play around the world. So you'd start, and then whoever wins, stay in. And the idea was you had to go around the world and beat absolutely everyone. If you could do that, you were the champ. And, like prior to that, I don't really have many good memories of fighting games. I've got memories of, hey, I got the new Tekken, put it on and go online and get humbled. Not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You know, I'm more of a 2D fighting game fan. You know, I do like 3D fighting games. Soul Calibur is one of the top ones, I think, in my opinion. If they just release more characters and when they put those games out, they're doing that season pass crap because it's a turnoff. But most people I see these days, you know, playing games like Street Fighter, mainstream, the new Mortal Kombat has come out. I haven't picked it up yet, but I've seen some videos of it, and I kind of feel like when it comes to fighting games, how they are now, man, I just feel like the content is not as much as it could be. You know, with the DLC season pass, that really turns me off. Like, I almost pulled the trigger on buying Mortal Kombat, the premium pack, and then it says, "Yeah," I was like, "All right, cool, I'll get these characters," and I said, "Yeah, you'll get the characters when they're released." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, man, you're not doing that."
even if you paid for them. That's right.
Yeah, like I was ready to play as Omni-Man from Invincible or even a Homelander. They're not ready yet. Are you kidding me? As much as they've been working on this game, they can't release them yet or whatever like that. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I think I might pass on getting Mortal Kombat as much as I want to play it until something more fulfilling comes out, like more fulfilling package, I would say. Makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
More characters.
So let's see. What did MK11 come out with? MK11 and then what is it? Aftermath, and then how many versions did they come out with? Like
And
3 or 4. I think.
And then Ultimate, I think, was the last one, right? Ultimate.
Yeah, Ultimate's the last one.
Yeah, like I come from an era when the extra characters were unlockable through your skills of doing certain things in the game, but now it's like the new generation of kids, like they got all this money to spend, say we don't care, this we'll pay you for the characters, and they say, oh really? Let's keep this going. And now there's more of these guys, and that's why the practices have changed. Like if people put their foot down, say, I'm not gonna buy this, you're not giving us everything, then they would change their mind, say, hey, we got to put everything in this or we're not going to sell.
Yeah.
But,
and
new
now
generation,
they can rebalance the games too. So now they can be like, oh, here's the new character. They can make him OP.
It's a big rebalance for each character they put in there.
OP. And so then everybody, like, it's the meta now to play that guy. And so if you either getting your ass whooped by that character or you buy it and learn it, and then 6 months down the line they nerf them and they release somebody else and they do the same thing. It's like Overwatch had a similar problem where they would release new characters who would just break everything off.
Yeah, and we see all this going on. That's why it's like, nah, I don't know, man.
You know what's crazy about that is if they were to completely change their business model and go back to, hey, all the characters come with the game, but you've got to unlock them all. You'd hear so many complaints from gamers that, no, I just want to pay for it and I want my character now.
Yeah, they give people that option. And I understand DLC. DLC, you can make it a little bit more money, man. But I think it should be really true DLC. Like, for instance, like, let me think of something real fast, like Guilty Gear. I haven't played the new Guilty Gear because, they're doing that season pass crap. But they're actually adding characters that are from the previous game as DLC. Like, this character's not new. This is not fresh. What are you doing? This should be already ready to go. Give me some new characters if you're going to make it some DLC. Then that's more respectable, I would think. But if you're unlocking characters who were in the last game, like, you serious, man? Like, come on. But,
a new movie comes out and you put those characters in because they're popular at the time and you got to pay for them.
Yeah.
But a character that's been around forever.
Thank you. Exactly. Like, can you imagine Tekken 8 when it comes out, man? They say, oh, yeah, the next unlockable character is Heihachi Mishima. Like, what? He's in the last 7 games, man. Are you serious? And he's supposed to be passed away, but still, it'd be like, come on, man. Like, new characters, not, this. I sound like an old man saying this. I hate doing that, but it's just it's how it is, I guess.
No, you're spot on. Like, the most enjoyable part of Tekken 3 for me was playing through the game, unlocking all the characters, and it gave me a reason to continue to do the exact same thing. Because, I've only got 2 more characters to do. Well, I'll play the campaign 2 more times and unlock them all.
Dude, you reminded me of when I got Tekken 5 and I was playing. Tekken 5 was so good when it came out, man. I was unlocking characters like crazy. And I remember I was trying to unlock Devil Jin or whatever like that. And I was playing the game all day and I fell asleep with the game on. And then when I went back to the select screen, like he was right there unlocked, like already unlocked. Like, yes, dude, I was so pumped up, dude. That was like Tekken 5 was like, dude, that was like so amazing how many unlockables that game had. I mean, it even came with the first 3 Tekken games, arcade versions unlockable. And it had Starblade, which is another arcade PS1 game unlockable. I mean, that was a true package right there.
It had Tekken Bowling? Like...
Tekken Bowling, baby. Hell yeah, dude. Where's Tekken Bowling? If that isn't in the new game, forget it. I'll do a season pass for Tekken Bowling, but that's it. Not for
it was a good replacement for Tekken Force mode because that was kind of lame.
So it was, but I wish they could have kept that idea going and made a cool beat 'em up, something like that, or more 1-player content.
They kind of did actually.
Which game? In the new one or 7?
Remember that game called Urban Reign for PS2?
For PS2, yeah.
Yeah, it had Paul and Law unlockable. That game was.
Oh, did they? I didn't know they were.
Yeah, dude, it was really.
Oh, that's cool.
There's quite a few spin-off Tekken games when you really think about it.
Yeah, well, that's not a Tekken game. That's just some Capcom or some fighting game or something like that, right? Or is Namco? That must be Namco.
No, it was Namco, but it's just that game. Now I want to play it. Now that game.
I've been picking up, like I said, I get into niches and the PS2 action games and the beat 'em ups. I've been looking into a bunch of those lately and picking up some of those. So I just looked at that game recently.
Some research for tonight's episode. I looked into Soul Blade. And I noticed some characters in Soul Blade that are Tekken characters. Are they crossover franchises?
Yoshimitsu is, but I don't think that's it.
Hawaii was in there as well.
Who?
Heihachi was in Tekken. I mean, in Soul Calibur.
He's in Soul Calibur. Yeah, for the PS2 version, he was in that version, and then Link was in GameCube. And who the hell did Xbox get? Was it Darth Vader or
Spawn?
Spawn, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Fixie, as far as crossover, was Yoshimitsu was the only one. He's like an ancient ancestor of Yoshimitsu at that, I think. So,
and I'm terrible with him in both games.
he's a gimmicky character.
Yeah, he's awkward, man.
His Tekken 3 design, though, that was the best design for Yoshimitsu. Was Tekken 3. They should have kept that.
I was just that bastard that did the big long stabby move over, just trying to get you there.
Almost took all your energy.
Dude, I was terrible with him. You know, I was good with his Valdo though in Soul Calibur. That freak.
Really?
Hell yeah, I was mad. I was really good with him. I actually got okay with Dr. B too because that
no
was
way.
Oh yeah, dude. So remember when I said
kidding me?
Yeah. So what happened was nobody could play that, dude. And then, like I said, one of my friends like secretly practiced Dr. B for like a month and didn't tell nobody. And then all of a sudden show up one day and he was just doing all this crazy stuff with Dr. B. I was like, what the? I mean, it was so funny, dude. And he whooped us. And so like we all put a little time into him and learned it. But he, again, is really weird to use. Valdo is a beast, though. Valdo is amazing. Dude. He is. Oh, yeah. But Dr. B is weird.
I don't even think he stands up. He just lays on the ground and kind of wiggles, if I remember right.
Yep. And then he jumps around. Because he has like no legs. He has like broken legs. So he falls over all the time. And then like, but then he has like rockets and stuff. And he shoots around and does crazy stuff super fast. He's awesome if you can figure out his stuff.
Something that I do love about fighting games is if you are playing fighting games over 10, 20 years and you are playing the same one and you have that character, is you learn the moves and the character's moves stay the same. If not, like they'll expand on them. But like if you've spent the time to learn a character's moveset, it's the same in Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 8, Soul Calibur 3, Soul Calibur 4, etc. Which is what I love about these games.
Yeah,
Nina Williams, and I can still use her moves today.
Yeah, you keep that familiarism with those characters, which is nice. So, yeah, Nina, wow, dude, that's another character. I think. Oh no, never mind. She's a part of the regular roster of Tekken 8, I believe. But yeah,
I still love Nina and Anna. They were my two go-to fighters as a kid.
Did you ever play that game Death by Degrees with Nina?
Yeah, it was good. I sold my copy because it didn't have a manual, and I got a rule that everything has to be complete. So I'm still looking out for a complete copy.
Well, that is the first game to do the X-ray. Remember X-ray moves from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Like Death by Degrees is the first one to actually do. I remember doing it. Like when Nina would do a certain move, it would show like the characters. It was so brutal what the X-ray was in that game, man. Like it freaking like amazing. But I feel like it was the first game to start the X-ray moves, like showing like hearts being stopped, bones breaking.
Which became a staple of the series, really.
Yeah.
Hey, Reggie, you might know this. Someone's asking in chat, is Mortal Kombat a remaster of the first game, or is it new?
No, it's new. So what they're doing with Mortal Kombat, the last game ended with a new timeline being created. So it's a sequel, but it's starting the timeline over again. So characters are somewhat different. You know, I'll give you an example, like Kuai Liang, which is Sub-Zero. In the new game, he's actually Scorpion now. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they're brothers. I heard.
And they're brothers, yeah.
And Shao Kahn's not in charge no more. It's
it's Sindel. Yep.
Sindel. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a sequel and a soft reboot in all in one.
Hopefully get new fans into the series as well by doing it that way. Starts the story again. You don't have to buy the last one to be able to play this one, etc.
It's a smart tactic for a story because it's hard to keep going and like keep a story going, especially how hard they go with the story mode in Mortal Kombat. Like freaking the people they fought, like Shinnok and Kronika, it's like, dang, who could be stronger than them or whatever like that. So they say, you know what, let's reboot the series, boom, and it works.
It kind of needs a fresh coat of paint every once in a while, to be honest with you. So
100%. Yeah, I agree.
It gets a little crazy when games start getting into the part 12, 15, 16. You know what I mean? It's like, all right.
When they're going to start using Roman numerals as numbers.
Yeah.
You just at some point, you just go EA and start putting years. You're like, here's just Soul Calibur 16, 17, 18, 20. I mean, they should do that at some point.
Hey, it could be Microsoft, and it could be called Soul Calibur X 360 series.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, if they could do it backwards. Yeah, no, that would be more confusing.
Yeah, man. More like, are you guys a fan of the Soul Calibur series? Pretty much.
It's one of my
I had a
favorites.
bit of it, but nothing like Tekken
Did-
or anything. I never learned characters or anything like that.
Oh, really? Did you guys enjoy the last one, 6?
I think 5 was the last one I played with Darth Vader.
5. Wow, that's the weird one in the bunch now out of the main series because they changed new characters and stuff like that. People were mad.
I like 6. I think 6 visually looks stunning. Like it is gorgeous. The actual moves. I don't know about you though, but it had weird mechanics like with the ring out mechanics in that game seemed like loose. Like you could just
Really?
you just fall out of the ring like no problem. Like it seems like it's really easy to get a ring out in that game compared to other ones. Not it was hard in the past, but like if you back up one step, you're just gonna walk
fall out.
off.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just feel like it was like a little more. I don't know.
Well,
hard to do back
you
then.
gotta notice that a lot of fighting games they kind of try to make them more easier for the new generation of people that modern games like.
I heard that in Street Fighter, you don't even have to do the moves. There's like a button.
Yeah, so my buddy Jason, level 1 online, man, like he always used modern controls, and I hate that because I always use the regular 6-button controls. But the difference obviously the modern controls is easier, but pretty much if he wants to pull off a super move, he's going to get it every time. If he gets me with a combination, I know that move is coming. Me, I have to be skillful and make it sucks. But I think it's kind of cool for people that that aren't able to play 6-button controller. Like somebody probably that has like one arm could play Street Fighter now because it's modern controls. Like just pushing buttons.
Accessibility is really good in gaming today. I love it when a new game comes out and there'll be a mode to play it for everyone. It's not just for people that have 2 hands and eyes, and it sounds cliche, but games are for everyone these days, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I do, but then at the same time, it's like you're missing some of the point of the game. Like if you could execute those really hard things, it was exciting. Like my friend, I never could do them, but my friend figured out how to do like the 20 grab chain combos that King could do. You know what I'm saying? Where he just grabs you, and then you just put the controller down and you go get a glass of lemonade because you're done, dude. You're done. And he could do them and it was just. It was impressive. Like you could try to button mash out of them, and sometimes you could throw them off, but like for the most part, you were toast.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's never going to be the same if you could do King's super grabs by pressing one button and doing some sort of like auto or whatever. It's not the same.
Yeah, you guys have a rule playing with friends that if you're playing Tekken 3, you're not allowed to use Eddie because he's too OP.
I remember if you saw someone play as Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3, man, you're like, man, it's going to be tough, but we found a way to beat them, the easy way to beat them. So it wasn't really a thing, but in the beginning it was because no one had seen a fighter that used Eddie Gordo's style, which is called capoeira or
capoeira,
something like that.
Chupacabra. I don't know. It's
thinking spinning with your feet. What a
capoeira, I believe it's
capoeira. There we go. That sounds about right. So once you got in the beginning, it was tough, but once people figured him out, he wasn't a threat like that. Like even in Street Fighter 6, it just came out. Like a lot of people thought the character that was a super threat was Manon, the girl. It's like a ballerina dancer. Now people figured her out, man. She's low tier now. So it takes a matter of figuring out certain characters, I would say. But Eddie Gordo was definitely one of the difficult ones in the beginning.
It's like Maxi and Soul Calibur. It's the same thing. So button mashing characters at first are like hard to deal with, but a lot of the time what happens, especially with Eddie too, is like they actually get locked into like really predictable patterns. Like if you see them go down this way, you're like, well, he's coming up this way because you know that once you learn those moves. But like Soul Calibur, what I loved about that game is like in that game, you could have like the option of going high or going low out of all of your combos, depending on whether you hold down the high button or you would hold down like the low button. So you could go down low and then continue with your low attacks, or you could go down low, stop for a second, and then come up and throw some elbows or something. And you could like, it was like, you always had to like it was like a dance, like between trying to predict like which way they would go. And then, if you were like really sick, you could start guard impacting and trying to smash them, and like, oh, he's going to go up, and you could try to hit him, and then they would go low, or oh man, I love Soul Calibur. Like I thought that was like chess. That game was so with the guard impacts, man. I don't know if you ever got into that, but we had some crazy fights doing that. Oh,
yeah,
so sick, dude.
Which one's your favorite out of the series?
So I always will love 1 on the Dreamcast because it was so flippin' amazing at the time when it came out. Like that game looked gorgeous. Like I think I talked about this before, but like that made me want a Dreamcast so badly. That game alone. Like I had a PS2 and I had Tekken and I had fighting game, but I swear that looked better than any PS2 game at the time. Like the way it played, like the frame rate or whatever it had going on, I just loved it. So I always will love that one. But 2 is probably my favorite. I just love part 2, dude. Because that's that's the one I sunk my teeth into the most, I think.
Mine is actually
for you guys regarding what would you class as a fighting game? Would you call boxing, UFC, wrestling games, like Dragon Ball Z games? Would you call them fighting games where it uses the whole arena, not just 2D?
If it's one-on-one, I consider it part of the fighting game genre because you are going against an opponent. But I like the fighting games that are kind of like more stage centered, like kind of like the. You know what I mean, like something like Tekken or Street Fighter, but the arena fighting games,
like 1 versus 1, and it's like that.
Yeah, you have this big whole arena. The fight's going to last longer when it's like that usually. But if the opponents are standing in front of each other like all the time, like even in the UFC game, you're going to see some fast action, which is really nice. Like arena fighters, typically for me, they don't really like something like Dragon Ball, like the old Budokai and all that. What was the other one? The ones Tenkaichi or something like that. I can't remember the one. But they were like arena games. Yeah, it's like a big arena. It's like, man, so you could really do a lot of stuff, but the fight probably will last a long time or whatever like that. So you can do a lot of running if you want to.
Fight up in the sky, you can fight on the ground, you can fly around mountains and fight each other. It was fun, but it was you're right. Like it wasn't a 2-minute fight. It could be a 10 to 15-minute fight, and anything can happen. I do love those games like WWE though. It's a staple that I've played for well over 20 years now, and I still play wrestling games, and there's still heaps of fun to play. It's just great fun games.
Especially like the first one I really got into was WWE SmackDown. Shut Your Mouth. That was the one with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and NWO came back into play. Like that game was so much fun. I remember they're playing that back in the military, and I bought the game, and my roommate started playing it more than me. I watched him play it. It's like this heaps of fun playing wrestling games. Just Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain were the ones I remember the most, but after that I kind of fell off from the series. But yeah,
I picked up WWE 2K22 and I had a great experience. It was a really good game. I'm waiting for a price drop on 23 because I've heard really good things about it too.
Really?
There was a decline in wrestling games over the late 2000s, and then 2K22 was the worst. It was like peak bottom of wrestling games, but they've started to really make good games again, which is good.
Good.
They've put general manager mode back in, so you have full control over everything, and it's just
nice.
I think wrestling games peaked on the N64. Sorry to say.
No, I still remember it. I remember my friends playing WCW, man. I remember one time they were in a match.
That's my favorite one. Everybody says.
Sorry. Oh no, you're good. You're good. And all of a sudden, while they were fighting, the camera zoomed up on the ceiling on top of the arena, and there was Sting waiting with the baseball bat. I was like, "What?" Like Sting came dropping the match. I was like, "Dude, that's insane!" Like that. You're right, man. That era was the beginning of it, man. Like where it got good at, and that moments like that, man, you'll never forget, man. Because back when the N64 was out, I mean, WCW was on top of the world.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously probably better games, but those are always my favorite. Just the nostalgia with those games will like never end. And they just came out with a new version of them. I think we talked about this before too, but it's called like WWF Legends. They just came out with like a new game based on those engine with like all of their late 80s, early 90s guys. It's like the ultimate version of the N64 games. Like, so
wow.
If anybody ever wants to play them.
Did you ever like the wrestling arcade game?
What's that?
Did you ever like the wrestling arcade game, like WWF?
Oh yeah,
Wrestling Fest, the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so that was like my favorite wrestling game forever. until the N64 ones. Like I loved the arcade game. I have that long PS1 long box. That's one of the games I bought on the long box.
No, I don't think I've
Pennsylvania
played that
game.
one before.
So good.
Like, wrestling games go back to about as far as
Oh.
like SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, and on.
Well, that had like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and I mean that had like the roster that I loved when I was a little kid.
Mhm.
So that game was like huge when I was a little kid in the actual arcades, especially. I played it all the time.
I remember like the story mode in those games. You know, like with like it was just like it was insane how accurate it was to the real events on TV. Like I remember I was playing as The Rock in my story mode because I didn't create my character, and all of a sudden, man, the NWO came out of nowhere and attacked them, and there was a big beef with the NWO. Had beef with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, like they had these little story modes that really kind of
so awesome.
bring you into the game, dude. It was hilarious. And I'll never forget. I finally created a character. It was my girlfriend at the time. I made her character into the game. You know, I was like, yes, finally got a tag team partner. And the game did this to me. It was messed up. Right? I got her stats up. And then, like, in a story mode, they had her turn on me and attack me. It was, I was like, what? How is this happening, dude? Like, you serious? Like, dude, I was like, come on, man. I'll never forget that, man. Like, there was a moment in the ring and she turned around and she just and knocked me out my character. I was like, dude.
She left me for Shawn Michaels. A good shit.
I'm a sexy boy.
But it was like that in the game. It's like, dude, this is insane. Like, man, I loved it.
Yeah, that's fun, man. I like the drama and stuff like that. That's good stuff.
There's a comment here saying that Star Wars Force Unleashed on the Wii had a fighting game mode. I wasn't aware of that. It's meant to be really decent. That's
really
cool.
Yeah, I don't know much about Wii fighting games.
There's only there's one good one. Castlevania. I mean, a lot of people look at me crazy, but Castlevania Judgment is actually a pretty good game on the Wii.
I haven't played that one.
It should have been on another system, though.
There should have been a Bushido blade where you can fight with the swords. Yeah. That would have been dope.
Bushido blade was like the first fighting game I played where you could get instantly killed. Like, man, that game was serious business, man.
It was totally
Taki was saying WWE All-Stars is a great arcade brawler. I'd probably rate that as one of the best PS3 fighting games. Like,
I have not played that yet, Fixie. I need to pick that one up.
That's
There's a reason it's still $30-$40 because it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really good.
It actually came with a fight stick when over here in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that box. It looks awesome too with the white colors and the yellow and everything.
So here's my question: what do you think is the worst fighting game you've ever played? Because there's some bad ones out there.
It has to be a PS3 game because I went through a phase where I played every single fighting game on PS3. I played one a day for 2 months or something until I played them all.
I just thought of the game. It's let me keep thinking because I don't want to.
There's some pretty janky ones out there, man.
It's probably a 3DO game.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. That controller qualifies it already.
I think the worst fighting game I played, and it's a version of a game, I would say.
Yeah, that's the same for me. It's a version. Yeah.
It was probably like Samurai Showdown on the Super Nintendo. I thought that was pretty bad.
Oh, that's the one that doesn't even have Earthquake, right?
He
was too big.
Too big. They even took Earthquake out of the Sega CD version, I think, or maybe they didn't. Maybe that's Genesis. I can't remember, but yeah, he's missing. Fatal Fury Part 1 on the Super Nintendo was pretty bad.
That's funny. Yeah.
But something that really stands out, man, that's like its own game. I'm trying to think of something that really threw me off. I was like, dude, I'm never playing this game again. And
maybe like a clone of Super Smash Brothers, one of those games that just didn't work or something.
Like a clone type game?
There's plenty of them.
So for me, it was one of those things like me and my brother, we used to play this game in the arcade and we actually kind of liked it. And then I got the Super Nintendo version and it was just doo-doo. It was the Time Killers, I think it's called.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that
Genesis,
game, bro.
Yeah, the Genesis version sucks, man.
I can't remember which console it was, but I just remember in the arcade it was actually pretty fun and kind of gory and like kind of awesome. And then at home it was just bunk. Like the character sprites were like half the size they're supposed to be, and like it just was. I hated it so much. Yeah, I could never get into clay fighters. Like it wasn't. I wouldn't say that's a terrible game, but it's not one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely up there in a bad fighting game. I would say Clay Fighters. That's a good one.
Yeah, Pit Fighter was
I
pretty
can just
junk.
remember the good ones. So maybe the bad ones just left my memory, and I'll just
Well, here's an example of a bad one. Street Fighter Part 1 is a pretty bad
It is
fighting
kind
game.
of bad. Yeah,
It
the
is
very
bad.
first one.
I mean, if you could pull off a super move in that game, like, dude, you got skills. But pulling off a special move in that game was more rewarding, but how to do it was just insane because the inputs were so bad. What makes a bad fighting game, first of all, is controls. If you can't pull off moves like you want to, horrible. So I feel like Street Fighter 1 is probably one of the worst ones out there. In my choice of fighting game. Like, I wouldn't choose to play that. Like, hey, if I had friends come over or something like that, I wouldn't say,
No
hey,
way.
let's play Street Fighter 1. Like, kill
No,
the move.
dude.
You got a few people in the comments saying Shaq Fu. It's pretty bad.
Shaq Fu is kind of fun if you play as Shaq. If you play as the other characters, it's lame. I like Shaq Fu, though. I mean, I know it's a bad game, but I had fun with it, though. So.
It got released on PS4, didn't it?
They had a sequel, Shaq Fu Reborn, and they made the game a beat 'em up. And that yeah.
I bought that 100%. There's that
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Fu game. Heck yeah, that's in my collection. Of
Yeah,
course.
it's a pretty decent beat 'em up. It should have been 2 players though. Like a 1-player beat 'em up game is dumb.
That is dumb. They figured that that's Final Fight 1 on Super Nintendo. Same thing, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
What
What were they thinking?
Yeah.
Hey guys, a little bit off topic, but I wanted to ask what you guys are playing at the moment.
I ain't playing Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways. I was on the last chapter. Things are getting pretty crazy. It seems like I'm at the end. So, yeah, playing that right now.
Nice.
I've been playing this game called Moon Scars. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's kind of like a 2D action game. Gosh, it kind of looks like what's that game called? Slain kind of artwork. Have you seen Slain or Valfaris?
Yep.
Where it's kind of like pixelated, but it's got like that, I don't know, specific look. Kind of looks like that artistic.
It's like old school heavy metal artwork.
Yeah, and it's like a dark kind of like, gothy 2D action game. Kind of like Blasphemous and all those other types of games sort of thing.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, that game was brutal. This game's Moonscar's cool though because like it you have this like magic resource called Ichor, and you can use it to either cast spells on offense or you can use it to heal yourself. So you can constantly basically heal yourself throughout the game. So it's a fair game for the most part compared to some other games in that genre where it's just like a grind fest where you die a million times. I don't know. It's not a bad game. It's not the greatest thing. It's nothing. It's 100% just like all those other games. So if you like that type of game, you'll like this one, but it's not going to blow your mind. Yeah, it's cool. I enjoy that stuff. So it's right up my alley. And then, oh my God, dude. I got the Steam Deck. So when you ask me what I've been playing,
A little bit of everything, huh?
oh my God, dude. I have been playing everything.
Well, another game we've been playing, we actually played Chainsaw Massacre together.
That's right. We did.
That was pretty fun. I didn't escape the first time with you, but we made it out the last time, thankfully, which was nice. It was very intense, very just crazy. That was fun.
It is
crazy. Figsy, we're still waiting on you to join us, Figsy, when you get some time. We can all 3 play it.
So I'm unfortunately addicted to a little game at the moment called Starfield. I'm about 7 hours.
You're playing that.
And I can see myself playing 500 hours. I've explored legitimately less than 10% of the game, and I'm 70 hours in. It's amazing.
And what else?
My expectations going in were down here because I've been burnt by Bethesda before, and I'm now really excited for Elder Scrolls 6. So blown my expectations out the water. I started playing EA FC 24 last night. I've played FIFA, so I had to get the new one. And it's the first FIFA game in a few years that actually feels different. So I'm enjoying it for the few hours I've put in, which is a nice change. Well, it's not FIFA, I guess, so I had to change it. But yeah, if you're on the edge of Starfield or if you've got Game Pass, it's free. Definitely give it a go because this game is absolutely amazing.
It's kind of crazy. We could have got that game on the PS5 if Sony didn't try to mess up a deal. I was reading about Sony is cutthroat, man. When it comes to deals.
I've had to play it on my PC, but I'm just using the same
Xbox
monitor
One.
I would have used if I played on the PS5. So there's really not much of a difference. It's just
Okay.
the console that you're using it on, or the system that you're using it on.
Yeah.
Who you're giving
So
your money to, I guess, is the difference.
here's the question: like, will Elder Scrolls 6 even have a disc? Stupid
don't
Xbox, or is it going to be
No,
digital
there'll be
only?
a
And I'm
collector's
gonna,
edition with a
I'm gonna
download.
have to play it on that little Wi-Fi router thing they sell. I don't know. I've been thinking about picking up the disc edition like now, just because I feel like that's gonna be the last one, and so it's gonna be that'll be the Cadillac of the Xbox franchise for collecting, is that one, the disc drive. So I might as well pick one up now.
You
But
know,
then
it's
the
funny.
counter to that is, are they going to still keep making games? What's Xbox incentive to put out a physical copy of their game when half of their consoles are digital only? And they're like, look, even our Xbox Series X players, we can check the stats, and 70% of them are buying digital games, so we don't have to put the disc out anymore. You know that they want to do that. They don't want to make.
That's what they try to do with Alan Wake Part 2.
Yeah.
They say we don't want to make a disc because we're going to be updating the game. Like, yeah, right. You still want a middle, man. You want it to be digital only. Just say that.
Company even came out and offered to do it for them, and they're like, no, it's all right.
Yeah, because they got a plan. Something else, dude.
Yeah, and if they really want to release it and let everybody, buy their game and then test it for them, because that's what companies do now. You pay
Yeah.
to test their game for them, and then they fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You could go ahead and do that, and then just release the physical a year or two later. I'm totally fine. I don't mind waiting. I'm used to it by now anyway.
Me neither. I got so much stuff to
So-
play. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
when the game is ready, I'll play it. And that's kind of how I am with Guilty Gear Strive. I'm just waiting for all the characters to get released, and then the game will be what it should be.
Well, speaking of that, a game that is ready to play now is Cyberpunk 2077. The new patch,
Whoa.
apparently, the game is really good and it's ready to play, but you have to start a new file from the developers.
That's totally. I didn't even start it yet. I was waiting to play the game on my PS5, so I haven't even started yet. So I'm in good shape. Like, I get to experience the game how it should have been experienced from the
I played it for 50 hours and I already have a diminished experience of the game. I really want to give it another shot, but it's like, if you've already had a bad experience, like imagine riding a car for 50 hours and it's a lemon. You wouldn't go out and buy another one or get the same one. You want something different. It's the same with video games, or watching a TV show that sucks. Then put out a new season of a new character. You're going to really try it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, because time is precious and we don't want our time wasted, with something horrible. So, yeah.
I'm excited to play that game though, if it is good. I was surprised they never released an actual PS5 copy. I was expecting that to happen, but I bet all their plans for that game changed. Let's just say.
Yeah. I mean, at least I think the PS4 version comes with an upgrade. Yeah, it's upgradable on the PS5. So I think that's as far as they'll go.
2077 was a successful game. They'd probably be working on The Witcher 4 right now.
Is it successful now, though, in a way, since they've been fixing it? Like,
they lost money on it because of the backlash. They had to spend so much money to fix the game that they took all the losses themselves.
Wow, that sucks. They shouldn't. They were pressured to release it before it was due to. It should have came out, unfortunately.
Yep.
And you could kind of tell, because there's no way a game that big should have got released the way it did. That was so embarrassing.
Thankfully, the bright side of that is companies now will take that into consideration when a game isn't ready. Hang on, we're not going to release this because we don't want the backlash of No Man's Sky, of Cyberpunk, because that, in trust, is worse than releasing a game early and fixing it later. The backlash you just can't get rid of. They're just saying that a delayed game is only a delayed game until it's released. A bad game is a bad game, full stop.
All right.
And Baldur's Gate has come out and ruined all that.
Hey, this year, guys, we've had some amazing games. Like Tears of the Kingdom's come out.
We really have.
Really amazing. We've been really spoilt with games. So I'm grateful to be in the era that we're in. Another thing that came out this week, and there was a leak from Xbox. We all heard the new Xbox console that was leaked. Well, with that came some news of certain games that had been on the pipeline. So Elder Scrolls Oblivion apparently is going to 360 PS3 one. But I tried to play that so hard after playing Skyrim, and to me it's outdated. It doesn't have trophies. It's just one of those games that if you didn't play,
Wow, no trophies.
back into it.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
yeah, it'd be exciting to play that remastered. There's some pretty cool games that they announced. But interestingly enough, the dates of all these games were like a couple of years ago. So it really showed how much of a delay COVID had in the gaming industry. Like, there's so many games that we probably would have today that we're not going to get for a couple of years because of COVID.
All right.
I'm wondering how much it like actually delayed, like the Switch 2 and the PS5 Slims and the, you know what I mean, like all that stuff is delayed. I feel like, so I mean it's like for right now I think PS5s are finally outselling PS4s, like the pace, and like they have them in the stores, like finally, like the supply they want. So you know I was blown away. They had a sale. Oh my goodness, they were on sale. What I thought for years, it was just like you had to like kill people to get one. It's just like
I always like wait at least a year or even sometimes 2 years when the system's out before I pick it up. You know, just to want to get I want developers to have enough time to kind of make a game that really kind of makes the system worth getting. Because sometimes people are just in a rush to get that new technology, and developers are kind of rushed to put something out on the system, but that is kind of subpar, I would say. So that's why I always wait.
Oh yeah,
that, but I bought the PS5 day one because of Demon Souls. Like that sold the system.
Perfect. Yeah, I bet, dude.
Because there isn't a game today that if Demon Souls wasn't on the PS5, I still wouldn't have a PS5. Maybe Final Fantasy, but I haven't even picked it up yet, so I can't say that would sell me a system when I haven't even bought the game.
So for me, the only reason I have a PS5 right now is because it's backwards compatible with my PS4 collection. That was the reason I picked one up now, because like you said, there's a couple games that I played on it that were exclusive. That I played Returnal on it, and Ghostwire Tokyo, and there's a few other ones that I really enjoyed. But I could live without those games. I could live without Ratchet and Clank. I would have been fine. The biggest reason I got it though is just because I'm like, well, I mean, it works with all my other games, so that's the
nice backwards compatible system. They need to. I need to get more memory in mine because I'm tired of like uninstalling games. That's one of the worst things. So yeah, dude, like come on. It's funny, we don't talk about this, even though we talk about like these systems are disk systems, but the disk doesn't spin. It only spins when it's installing the game. Like I think the last systems to actually spin and go off the hard drive and the disk was the PS3 and 360. Like PS4 is just like you didn't install your disk to the hard drive.
It's just data, yeah.
And that's it, because they don't want to like spend money on getting anything higher than a two-speed Blu-ray player. So even if it did play off the disc, it'd be really slow with the load times.
I got something interesting that I want to talk about. This is actually quite upsetting. It happened to me last night, and it's going to happen to people in the future, and it's going to be really, really bad. So I bought the new FIFA digital last night. The physical copy is $100. You have to play it early, blah, blah, blah. I convinced myself to buy it. Anyway, I'm playing, and when I was downloading it, I plugged my Ethernet cable into the PS5, and then I unplugged it, put it back into the computer.
Oh, no.
Because of that, I disconnected to Wi-Fi. Anyway, I'm playing offline. 10 minutes later, I get a message pop up that says, we can't verify this copy of the game. The game will shut down in 15 minutes unless it can be verified. So unless you're playing online, even if you own the game digitally, you still have to be online because the game has to verify that you own it every 30 minutes or so.
They're watching.
I had to turn my Wi-Fi on to keep playing. Like, what the hell?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't spend a lot of money on games like that. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to say I don't have any games like that in my collection that require online to play, because I have a few, but I avoid them like the plague. Like I didn't even get Diablo 4 because of that reason. I was just like, yeah.
Diablo 4 does that too? Like you have to be online at all times?
You have to be online to play that game. I don't
No
think
way,
there's
dude.
any offline single player mode. Like you have to be online. Even if you play by yourself, you have to have an online connection.
They did that with Back for Blood, and people were mad about it. So they patched in that you could play the game offline later on, but still, That doesn't make any. It's just like, what the hell, dude?
It
Like,
doesn't make any sense when you're playing an offline mode. Like it's
Exactly.
like the game doesn't exist and you're downloading it from the server as you're going or something. It's like
I don't even know what to say, man. That's insane.
It's you just don't own anything. You're just renting it, and they're going to shut it down. Nothing lasts forever. They're going to shut it down. So,
And do you think that's one of the reasons why people appeal to old school so much? You know, because they don't have to deal with all
for
that
me,
stuff.
you buy it, you own it forever.
Diablo 1 on PS1 is worth like $120. So, and I don't think Diablo 4 is going to be worth that much in 20 years. Let's put it that way. If it's even like you're allowed to play it anymore, it'll be on some server. You know, somebody will host a private server or something like that.
Do you think where a lot more people are taking notice to that? Though? Well, it's
no,
hard to
not
say.
the masses, not the young kids.
Yeah, not the masses.
Young people are grown up with the digital world.
They're used to it.
They're used to it, yeah.
The throwaway culture, like they don't own anything. Like they're used to that idea. Like we're old timey people who are like, my hard earned cash, I want to have it on the shelf, and they're just like, shelf. I don't want to have a fucking shelf. You know.
I still like to believe though there will be a period of certain years pass where, you know, I'm going to go sell my games, and they realize I can't sell this console because all my games are digitally. I worked in a pawn shop, and we would regularly have at least once a month a customer, a mum or a dad coming in trying to sell their kids' collection of digital games, and they don't understand that it's not worth what it used to be because they don't actually, you don't really own them anymore. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll kick in, but it's only going to be a small percentage of people because most people will just be used to it. It'll just be, oh, you've played those games, well, you got to buy the new ones. You got to start all over again, you know, and that's how the world works now. Subscription services.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want it to just be something you pay for. There'll be no console.
Yeah, subscription service, pretty much. Yeah, essentially, that's what they want.
It'll be like Netflix. It'll be like you just you buy a controller and then you get on your TV and you sign into Xbox Game Pass, and then you just stream everything. And
well, you know, if that does happen, if that does happen, what's going to happen is that another company will pick up the helm of doing physical games, like kind of like what Evercade's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would get somebody else that would probably make a stronger version of the Evercade that makes, you know, better graphic games and get exclusive games on that system that are physical. That's how those companies would I think that's how somebody else would pick up the helm, I would say.
I hope so.
I agree with you, Reggie. And we've mentioned in the show that companies like Limited Run Games are not going to stop making PS4 games.
No, they got plans. They got plans for other stuff too, yeah.
But I can see them still making, say, a PS6 comes out. I can see the PS6 not having physical games and companies still making PS4 games and PS5 games because there's still going to be a market for it. It's always going to be collectors buying stuff. That's why they still make records today and books and CDs because people still buy them. So the video games are going to be the same. But the masses don't buy music anymore. They don't buy movies. They just download everything. But if there's a market there, then someone will jump in and take the money of all those people that still want to buy things.
That's right.
Yeah,
100%.
and I think, you know, like you said, there'll always be a market for indie games. There's all like I said, you could make 1 million games like Moonscars, and I'll probably buy them. I'm like, oh, it reminds me of Castlevania. I'm a sucker. I'll buy it again and play it again. I just love this shit. I'll just keep playing it forever. I don't know, like so. Yeah, you could definitely keep going forever. You know, it just might not be the most cutting edge AAA experience or whatever, but who cares, dude? Like, I don't even know. Like, games are so good, I don't even need them to get better, dudes. I'm happy.
Let me ask you this: and when it comes to fighting games, do you guys like the previous era fighting games, or do you like how they are now?
I like the old school how it was. I'm not a fan of the new model of pay to unlock characters and different things. But I understand why they do it because that's how the modern generation have been grown up, and that makes more money. So it makes sense.
Yeah, but not only that, like the level of skill that's required in games, like it was back in the day. Like, man, I mean, I remember everybody had to learn like combos on their own, but now they have like automatic combos and stuff like that, like one button push combos. That's unheard of to me. Like back in the day, like what? What is this?
And it takes a huge like that's what I mean by like it takes some of the excitement out of it because especially if you were into like I've seen quite a few people in the chat say they had like a local pizza joint, they had like an arcade scene, or they had, you know, for me it was this little like hot dog stand place where like there was a laundromat and like there was this little place they had like a Street Fighter and an like a Neo Geo SNK. So they had Samurai Showdown, Street Fighter 2, and a couple other games. And there was always people in there playing. And like you said, executing those moves and having those skills, especially where I was I was really little, and like I was always so like in awe of like the teenage kids who could do all the crazy stuff because I would button mash for the most part, but I couldn't do any like real constructive combos or fighting or anything. So it was just so fun to watch, and it was so exciting.
Yeah, seeing all those amazing moves being pulled off.
And now it's like you see all that crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, is he just holding down the button or whatever? It's just like I don't know. It's not the same. Like there is a skill to it. I'm sure there's more to it than just holding down a button. I don't know, but it's not the same. Like I don't know.
Yeah, so the last real skillful fighting game I remember, for at least that I played competitively, was a Street Fighter 4 and all those versions. I think that was the really last one to really, when it comes to like the half circle type moves and all that stuff, to be a real super skillful fighting game for me. Street Fighter 5 was really weird. 6, I feel like it's kind of on the level of 4, but I'm not really into it because of the lack of characters, I would say. But yeah, I just feel like there was a certain skill level back in the older games that were people made their own combos, and combos weren't already like registered in the game. Like people made combos, and that's how they would like come up
and
with
like
stuff,
air juggles. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we would figure out how to like kick you up in the air, and then I do one crappy little punch right in the nuts, and that'll boot you a little bit more, and then I could kick you one time on the ground. And we figured out all those things. So you just eke them out, and you come up with this weird, awkward combo that's not a real combo, but you can hit them like 6 times.
Exactly.
Like that sort of stuff. Yeah. I love that, dude. That
you don't really see that anymore. You'll see something in a trailer for a character where they're doing all this stuff. I'm like, damn, well, I didn't figure it out. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of cool to see, but it's kind of like they made it for you. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Another thing too. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe this is old way thinking, but yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that like they'll never recapture is like back in the day too, like Mortal Kombat, and like another one was like Eternal Champions. I don't know if you ever played that, but like there was lots of like secrets and stuff to the games, and like this is pre-internet, like you didn't have like not everybody knew all this stuff, or if you did have internet, like I don't know. It was just I remember like having that knowledge of knowing how to do stuff in those games was so cool back in the day. Like knowing the fatalities and the babalities and the friendships and the this and the that.
Speaking of Eternal Champions, that had one of the most brutal fatalities I've ever seen, man. Like I remember the one for Sega CD.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that game.
Yeah, I was playing this character named Larson. And I don't know what the hell I did back then because I think I knew how to do it, but whatever. You knock this guy off the tower. And as they're falling down the tower, there's all these like wheels that are tearing the character up as they're falling down. And they get worse and worse. I remember it was so brutal seeing that. I was like, geez, man, this game was insane.
For that, dude. I love that.
Pulling off fatalities, friendships, which is weird. Like back in the day, because you see someone do a friendship, you're like, what the hell? Babalities. That was cool seeing that stuff, no doubt.
Yeah, now it's like you'll never recreate that.
Time that we play Figsy Quiz. What do you guys say?
Oh,
let's go for it.
Let's do it. Oh, is that an answer or a question?
That's a question. It's all good.
Okay.
I'm not going to win that one.
All right, guys. And then you guys in chat, we do have a chat question for everyone as well. So I'll just read out the scores first. So the way chat's points are going to work is the first person from chat to get 5 points will win themselves a video game shipped anywhere in the world. So you got to be in it to win it. Now, right now, we have a few people on 2 points. We've got Cyrus, Mario, Jason Trickster, Bantfeet all have 2 points. And then we've got Windy Corner TV, Jimmy J, Lulu Girl, The Collectionist, and Westman all have 1 point. So the way chat's question is going to work is I'm going to put up an image on the screen, guys. It's going to have a bunch of photos. And you have to work out the video game from the photos. Whoever gets the correct title gets the point. If you guys are in Reggie's channel, you can jump in and compete as well. And if you want to keep playing, sure to jump over in the Figsy Games channel to catch the podcast later on. So here's chat's question for this week. Now we need the full video game title. I'll leave this up for 30 seconds or so for you guys.
This is for the audience, right?
This is for the
Yeah,
audience.
this is not for us. We can't
Good.
help with them hands.
Good,
Nope.
because I wouldn't know it at all. Good luck.
Mhm.
Now we'll come back to that one as the quiz goes on, but let's get into Figsy's quiz this week, guys.
Oh God,
I
I
think-
know
I-
that. I know
I
the
think I was
game, but
gonna-
I know it, but I don't know the last like 2 words. Like I always have a problem. I'm like, I know the first 4.
yeah, I
And if you
almost
say it, it
recognize
gets
it.
someone else who might like not know it. Oh, I do know that game. It's this.
Chat's got this. Chat's got this.
No one's got it yet. Pressure's on. All right, guys. Reggie, Joe, who would like to go first in tonight's quiz? Tonight's going to be a fighting game special quiz.
Oh, it is. Oh, where's the fighting game sounds? We don't have. Oh, never mind. Sorry, God.
I'll start.
All right, sounds
Go
good.
for it.
If we change it to this, Joe, the big quiz, we can go. Oh no, they're not there anymore.
Oh, they should have been. Nah, whatever.
All
I
right,
think they're
guys.
in the regular thingy, but it's all good.
I want to give a big shout out to Pavel and Sylvan for once again making this quiz. It's really awesome. And we do have the new style of question at the end too, which you guys loved in the last couple of weeks. So let's get into it with question number 1 for Reggie. Reggie, which handheld console didn't have a Tekken game? Was it the GBA, the DS, the 3DS, or was it the Vita?
I don't know. Whoa, I almost said the wrong one. Whew. Excuse me. I believe it was the Nintendo DS.
Correct answer was
Yeah.
the DS.
I almost said Vita for a second, but I remember, yeah, it came up right at the last second.
Yeah, Street Fighter versus Tekken, Tekken Advance, and we had Tekken 3D on the 3DS. And before we get into question 2, I can confirm that chat have correctly answered today's question
They
with
did.
J-Star's Victory Plus, and Mario. Mario has gone to 3 points. Congratulations,
Nice, dude.
Mario. You are
Wow,
2
good
points
job.
away from winning a game. This is awesome. Mario's king at this now, guys. If you guys want to be involved in the chat quiz, make sure you catch the podcast on Sunday night. All right, question number 2. Joe, this one's for you. How many official fighting games has Sonic the Hedgehog have? 0, 1, 2, or 3?
Sonic fighting games. Good God.
This is a weird one, but yeah.
Dude, you know, I think 0, so it's probably 3, just because I'm like, I'm going to say 1.
Good job.
Incorrect. Reggie?
Oh,
Whoa, it's not 1. It's not.
God.
Ooh, I'm going to go with 2.
Correct answer is
Yeah!
so we had Sonic the Fighters, which is a Japanese game, and then we had it was also called Sonic Championship for PAL and NTSC.
Oh, that's the one on the Game Boy Advance. I totally forgot about that game. Wow.
And then we
Okay.
had Sonic Battle on the Game Boy Advance as well.
Darn.
Dude, I'll be honest, that one on the left looks fun.
Yeah.
Look fun. I'd try them, but there's Sonic. It's probably like a Sonic cooking game, dude. I don't know. There's so many
Probably
games.
So at the end of round 1, Reggie's taken an early lead of 2 points, and Joe's yet to get on the board. Still anyone's game. All right. Question number 3. Reggie, which Tekken character has its own games on the Super Famicom and the Nintendo 3DS?
Second character that has
Tekken character's own game on the Super Famicom,
Super
Yeah.
Famicom
That's
and
like
the
before the-
3DS.
Okay.
Tekken character.
Wow, this is gonna be a tough one because, like,
Super Famicom.
yeah,
What
that's
the
what
deuce?
throws me off. Like, what? Like, I automatically would have chose like, well, do I have a minute to think about this one?
Take
Yeah,
your time. But I don't know it either, man. So Super Famicom.
I'm gonna guess it because it has to be definitely one of the earlier Tekken games, like Tekken 1 through 3. So I'm gonna say Heihachi.
Incorrect.
What?
It's up to you, Joe.
Tekken character that has his own game. So it's not a Tekken game, but it's like a spin-off.
So you gave us a hint. It's his.
Super Famicom. Is it his?
And maybe thinking of the 3DS game will help more.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Nope. Kuma.
So the answer we were looking for was gone.
Gone.
Whatever, bro.
Character. He's a guest.
Whatever, bro.
That's a good one, though, man. Oh man.
I figured it would be so goofy. I was gonna say that, or maybe the kangaroo, whatever his name was. Yeah.
All right, question 4. Joe, this one's for you. Name the PS2 game where Nina Williams is the main character.
Oh God, we even talked about this earlier, and I still don't know. This is bullshit.
Really? How did you do it?
You told me earlier. You
We've
said it.
mentioned it already.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Oh God. It's the PS2 game where they break the bones. We had this conversation before. And you said the name of it like 3 times, and I still don't know. Nina Williams, No Mercy.
What is it?
That's a good title, actually. Death by Degrees.
It is
So-
Death by Degrees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna guess that. Whatever, dude.
The first game to start the X-ray. The X-ray kills.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to question number 5. Now, this next round, I'm going to show you guys some theme songs, and you have to tell me what video game these theme songs are from. So, that was going to be
Okay.
fighting titles. So, Reggie, here's yours.
Freaking awesome, whatever it is.
Is it Killer Instinct?
That is Killer Instinct.
Yes, that's. Yeah, I'll never forget that, man. Because whenever he was playing that in arcades, dude, like that theme song would always go off. Like, man, yeah, perfect.
Reggie is destroying me.
All right, Joe, here's your question.
Oh God, I'm not gonna get it.
Oh, you better get this.
No, I'm not going to. Samurai Showdown.
Ugh.
Almost got like a Donkey Kong vibe.
I have no idea, bro.
What is it, Reggie?
Mortal Kombat.
That is the OG Mortal Kombat.
Do you think I listen to this on a regular basis? You know, freaking Happy Console Gamer has probably all of these on every soundtrack. He's like, you idiot!
Well, guys, at the end of round 3, Reggie's got a big score of 5 over Joe.
I'm catching up.
But I can confirm question 9, there will be 12 points up for
Mhm.
grab. So it is.
Yeah, so the way the game works now, Reggie, none of this matters until the last question.
It's the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Because
Mm.
it's still fair how you answer the last
But you can make a comeback though with
That's right.
Gotcha.
This is-
Comeback's available.
Mm.
All right, moving on to question 7. So this next round is going to be the picture round. So you guys have to guess the video games from the pictures.
All right, I'm good at this round. I'm all right.
This
at
is what I'm
round.
bad at. See, is this for me right now?
This is for you.
Yeah.
See, if that gear was on the left, I would say gears of well, let's see. I don't know. Joe, it's up to you.
You passing?
I'm passing.
No, I'm good at this one. This is Guilty Gear Judgment.
This is Guilty Gear.
Oh my god, I messed that up. I was looking at it like it was Gears of War or something with Ace Attorney, but good job, man.
Yeah.
I thought you had it when you said gear, and then you went Gears of War. I'm like, oh no.
Way off. Yeah, if people will watch, I'm pretty bad at these, so Joe might get me on these.
All
Yeah.
right, Joe, here's your next one.
Oh, what the? Oh my goodness. What the? Oh, okay. Hold on. I got it already. Hold on. Oh God, it's Def Jam fight for New York.
Whoa!
Def Jam fight for New
Yeah.
York.
We got a battle.
Go! Let's
Joe's
go.
coming back. The scores are now Reggie 5 and Joe on the comeback with 2 points. It is anyone's game. So guys, we come to our final round, and the final round is our new round, which you guys love. So the way this final round is going to work, as Joe, you are behind, you'll go first. I'm going to show you guys a photo of 12 different fighting game characters. And taking turns one at a time, you guys have to name the characters. Each one you get right, you get 1 point. Each one you get wrong, you get a strike. 3 strikes and you're out. Once you're out, the other person can keep answering.
Okay.
All right, here are your characters, and Joe, you'll be going first.
Okay. I'm so bad at this, dude.
Okay, I think I'm good here. Okay.
I'm going to take either the characters or the video games in this one.
Okay.
Or the games? Well, okay.
Or the
Well, 11's Mario from Punch Out.
Okay, I knew you're. Yeah, okay, good. I was about to say you better get that
is
one.
correct. Joe takes a point.
Yeah.
Reggie, you're
All
up.
Number 1 is Noel.
That is correct. From Blaze Blue, Reggie takes a point. Joe?
Number 8 is Siegfried from Soul Blade.
That is correct. Joe
Wow, I did not even notice that version of him. Right on, dude.
You're up, Reggie.
Number 3, Joe Hadashi.
Number 3 is Joe Hadashi from King of Fighters. Reggie takes a point. Yeah.
7, I know. 7, and it's making me mad. I can't remember their name, but is that is 7 from Dead or Alive?
7 is not from Dead or Alive. Joe is on the strike. Reggie?
Strike.
7 is Kitsumitsu. She's Yoshimitsu's rival.
7 is Kuchimitsu from Tekken 2. Joe?
Tekken 2. Yeah, super familiar to me. That was driving me crazy. 6 is the guy from Super Smash, right? The guy from Super Smash. Is it Animal Crossing? The guy from Super Smash?
Yep. So the villager from Super Smash Brothers from Animal Crossing. That's a point. Reggie?
Number 5, BB Hood.
Number 5 is Baby Hood from Darkstalkers. Reggie takes another point. Joe? We've got 2.
Is 12?
4, 9.
Is 12 like? Do I have to? Is it 12? Is the stage?
You could do the game. He said too.
Oh, cool. That's Street Fighter. Does it matter which version of Street Fighter?
Number 12 is the Monument Stage from Street Fighter 2. Give Joe a point.
Okay, I just didn't know if you went like 2 Turbo Alpha. Like how many bringing? I don't even know.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Reggie?
Number 4 is Heart from Arcana Heart.
Number 4 is Heart Aino from Arcana Hearts. That's correct. And Joe?
10 is 10 from Dead or Alive?
Mm-mm.
No,
10 is not from Dead or Alive. Joe takes another strike.
10 is familiar to me.
10 is from Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter. Shit.
10 is the wrestler from Virtua Fighter. Good job, Reggie. All right, Joe?
Okay, I'm screwed. I do not know what those. I mean, I don't know.
We're looking for number 2 and number 9.
I'm gonna say 9 is Mokujin from Tekken.
No,
9 is not Mokujin from Tekken.
I'm out.
Joe is now out. It's all down to you, Reggie.
The number 9 is Mortal Kombat, the Forest. And,
number 9 is the Living Stage Forest from Mortal Kombat, correct?
And the only one,
2?
Yeah, number 2 is the only one I'm unfamiliar with for some reason. I did not know that character.
You got 3 chances to have a guess. So
okay, let's get a guess going here.
You don't get none of them wrong.
It's
right.
It says winner, so I'm guessing it's from a game like what's that game called? Bloody Roar.
That was close, but it wasn't. So 1 strike.
So the other game that's kind of like Bloody Roar is that Sega game. It's called why can't I think of the name right now? It's not Fighters Mega Mix. It's what the hell is it? Come on. It's that crazy girl with the roller skates and how you could knock people through walls. I can't think of the name right now.
I don't think you're thinking of the game.
Okay,
when I said close to Bloody Roar, I meant close because it was released around the same time.
Oh, Well, never mind. How many more guesses I have?
You have 2 more.
2 more. Okay. Came out at the same time as Bloody Roar, so let's
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't think it was popular because I would know about this game. And it's a fighting game?
It is a fighting game.
Okay, obviously looking at it, it's got to be a 3D fighting game, so I'm gonna say.
The graphics almost give away the
Yeah,
system.
PS1.
It's like N64 or something to me.
No, look, because it's a bit more
Could be
sharper. So I think
PS1.
PS1, yeah. Damn it, I don't even know what to guess, man. I give up.
All right, so that was. I'll show the title. It was.
I never played that game.
Gosh, it's a terrible game.
I never played.
Guys,
That's
we
why.
have a winner of today's quiz. So Joe finished on 6 points with 12 points. Reggie takes this week's quiz. Well done, Reggie.
Congratulations.
That was really fun, guys. And congrats, Mario. Mario, you've taken the lead and you're now 2 podcasts away from winning a game, which is really awesome.
Right on.
Very nice.
Someone in chat was asking if Joe Rad has a YouTube channel. So Joe's got a YouTube channel, guys. Be sure to go check out Joe Rad, and he's got some really awesome parodies of music videos. So be sure to check those out.
It's not a real YouTube channel, but you can check it out if you want.
When Joe decides to do, yeah, it'll be there. So if you guys want to see what he's up to,
It's true. Maybe I'll do more stuff in the future, but the podcast will be on there, and I stream on Twitch too, and do a lot of Beat Saber and stuff. Play a lot of games on Twitch.
So for those of you that are watching, I did want to show you guys some obscure fighting games that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
Heck yeah!
Can I do that, Fixie? Okay. So I'm not sure how I feel about this next one, but it's made by the same people who make Guilty Gear. Hopefully this will show properly. DNF Duel for the PS4.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking this up.
Yeah, it's also available for the Switch now, which I don't know why anybody would get that version, but it's a weird fighting game because you don't do like the half circle motions and everything. You do like combinations like down, forward, back, and then you do a move like it's really weird. It feels like you're doing moves like Mortal Kombat in this game, but it's a 2D fighting game running off a 3D engine, which is weird. But it's like has the animations of Guilty Gear pretty much, so you guys know how that looks. But yeah, another weird fighting game. Of course, a game that I'm sure you guys are familiar with, Milty Blood. I hope you guys are.
Yeah, I would love to get a copy of that, but
it was way too expensive. Mm-hmm. They sold out, and then they raised the price of it, and then nobody bought it. So they have these like physical copies sitting there. Hopefully, somebody else picks it up in America. But this version is in English if you find it for a deal. But Milty Blood is a series that's been with us for years. Mainly, a lot of people played it on the PC and maybe in some arcades. But this newer one has implemented the one button combos, so I guess newer people could get into it, So, but still, you don't have to use it, but it's there, which is kind of annoying. But still, a really solid game, and it gets free. They give out free characters via DLC. So, if you pick the game up, you'll get a couple of DLC characters for free, which is nice.
Well, that was going to be my question. Is it like a season pass game, or is it like self-contained?
No, man, they're like, hey, we'll release these characters when they're done, because they're still doing sprite animations, so the characters get like released periodically, I guess, because they're really working on them. But yeah, free, which is nice.
Oh, cool. So maybe they'll come out with a ultimate edition in PAL or something and pick that up.
Hopefully something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Next games like slipcover and everything, that'd be nice.
Next game here is Million Arthur.
Oh, never heard of this one. No, I've never heard of this.
This has Iori from King of the Fighters in it too. Sorry, my camera's trying to focus for you guys. That's Iori is a guest character in this game. You can see him right here, the red hair, kind of ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to get a new camera, or no, I just need better lighting. But anyways, yeah, 2D fighting game. A lot of people don't know about it. I got lucky and got this copy for like $6 a few years back during the pandemic. I don't think the guy knew what he had, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And it arrived like a month later, which was nice. So very cool.
How much is it going for now?
It's probably like a $40 game.
Oh,
I'm
man.
hoping it's not that bad, but still, the cheaper the better, of course. Next up here is Blade Strangers.
I do have this game.
Yeah, and
Nice.
and for people who haven't seen this game, the cover may look kind of weird to you. That's because I'm using the reverse cover. The game has a reversible cover in it, and basically this game is all Nicholas's like their mascots are in their own fighting game. So it's got Gunvolt, the girl from that game with the long fishing pole. I forgot the name
Remy
of it.
Lore.
Not Remy Lore. I forgot her name, man. I don't want to mispronounce
Kawasumi.
Kawasaki. Kawasi.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hatamori. Yeah, I know
yes.
what you're talking about.
Right on, Joe. And it has the little guy from that game called
Binding of Isaac, baby.
Thank you. See, I don't know why I couldn't think of these names right now.
That's why I bought it, because
I'm
Cave
Story
and Cave Story too. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a cool game. Came with free DLC characters as well. Update, which was nice. So definitely something you guys want to keep your eye out for weird fighting games.
Yeah, I like when they do crossover titles like that. Like there's a lot of JRPGs like that and fighting games where they'll just throw all their main characters in one.
They have another one called Crystal Crisis, I think. I have to pick up.
So that's a puzzle
one. Yeah, it's like
it's a verse fighting though. Yeah, it's still in the same category because it's versus,
But it has the same idea though, where it has like all those characters from all the games. So I need to pick that up because I want everything with Isaac. I love Binding of Isaac. I'm like totally obsessed. So like, anything he's in it, I'm gonna pick it up.
There's a new one coming out with him in it for the PS5 and Switch. I don't know if it's out already, but yeah.
There's the Bumbo game just came out, which is another spin-off. But anyway.
I may get some flack for this, Bixby, but I actually like this game a lot. I'm one trophy
away. Get the flat cannons ready, boys. Just kidding.
And this is SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy.
Oh no, that's a good game.
That game's funny. So that game over here in Australia, the Switch title sold for cheaper than it was to make a Switch game. It was like $9 Australian.
Really?
Because they had too many of them.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, some guy talked SNK into making the game more exclusive for the Switch instead of the PS4. That's why the PS4 version is hard to get without getting the collector's edition because it only came in the collector's edition.
So in PAL regions, that's actually the most expensive PAL game, but you can still buy the collector's edition from SNK. But copies are selling on eBay for like double the price because I don't know.
Yeah. And this version right here was a review copy because you can see on the back they punched out the barcode and everything. Yeah. So I was so happy to get this because this game, I wanted the PS4 version from the get-go, but I didn't want to buy the collector's edition because I just felt like it was stupid. Yeah. Then I ended up getting the collector's edition from PRG, Portland Retro Gaming Expo last year on the cheap. So I ended up buying it anyways, which is kind of funny.
Awesome.
So. But definitely a fun fighting game. Very simplistic. It's just more of a novelty towards King of the Fighters. So if you like King of Fighters, you want more. It's like a cool little funny story with this one. I like it.
That's very collectible, man.
Yeah. I got lucky to get that one. And then hopefully you guys know about this. This was the first fighting game I bought for my PS4 actually. I was hoping it was coming out for PS3 because I was still in that PS3 era when the PS4 was out. But I finally got a Nitro Plus Blasters.
Nice. Yeah, I got the PS3 version. So I'm going to show you guys my PS3 cover because the Japanese cover has different artwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll see this. Yeah, so Nitro Plus
anime-based game.
Yeah, anime fighter is what they call them now. I didn't even know they had a name for them. I just called them fighters, but they say if it's like this because it's like an all-girl fighter pretty much. So good animations, cool moves and stuff like that. I don't know if a lot of people playing it on the tournament level or nothing like that, but I feel like it's the last of its kind. Like, they're not making too many sprite-based games anymore, so I wanted to definitely pick this one up, give it some support.
On the artwork of this one, you've got the Western release. You can see her top. You can't really see her boobs.
Oh, there was a fire over it.
Yeah, the Japanese copy, they're all out. The girls are hanging out for us, so it's a much better artwork this one.
I can't even believe someone would take the time.
Yeah,
edit the cleavage on the freaking cover of the game. Like, I mean, of all the things,
they are so sensitive now about everything. Like, do you remember Street Fighter V? Rico, she had this move where she slapped her ass or whatever like that, and they cut that down because they thought it was too offensive in America, so they took that move away. Like, what the hell, really? Like,
Yeah, when
Yes.
I was a kid, you could go down to the store and get these movies called Faces of Death and watch like you could watch anything you wanted. What is going on, man?
Hey, Sticks, how are you doing, man? One of my friends from Level 857 podcast has joined us. How you doing, buddy?
Welcome.
Yeah, I fought him. I still got to get revenge on him. He beat me up in Street Fighter 6 when we were all having a tournament. And I wasn't ready. He got me good.
I wasn't ready. My controller was broken. He's
probably a lot better now, too, so I have to step up my game. But next game here, old school game that a lot of people don't know about. This is an SNK game. They strictly limited, decided to release it as a collection, thankfully. And this is Breakers.
I was thinking about picking this up.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, Breakers is a really cool game that I would not have known about.
I'd never heard of it. I didn't know it was any good.
Yeah, it came out late, and it came out obscurely on the Neo Geo system. The first one did for home consoles, and the second game stayed in arcades, kind of. But this one came out. I mean, they put it all together in a collection, which is nice. And now people are you get to see how games were like played back in the day, like the skill level you needed to kind of get good at these games. Like this game is definitely one of them, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Breakers for the PS4, got that. And I'm hoping everybody has this game because this guy actually did a really good job when he created this game. He's a big fan of Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, like myself. I forgot his name, so unfortunately I don't remember him. But here is Skullgirls.
Oh yeah, I will complain about this though because I pre-ordered it and it took 3 years.
Same. Yes. Fixie, what happened for me? Actually, I originally got the Japanese version because they were ready. They had it made already. It was already done. I was like, yes, I'm good. I have the physical. And this came out like 2 years after that. So I went in and picked it up because I saw it at a local store. But Skullgirls had it was in limbo for people who wanted it in America, man. It was horrible.
Apparently what happened was because
from limited run in general.
Version came out and then new DLC came out and they wanted it all on the disc. So they held off as long as they can to get everything on the disc, which they did. And like today, it's one of my most beautiful limited run games. It's got a slip cover, absolutely amazing. Yeah. But I will never forget the 2.5 3 year wait. It was a meme at that point.
Yeah, it was laughable. You know what's sad, Fixie? Like they wanted to get all the content on the disc, and they still made DLC for the game recently, like last year. There's 3 characters that are DLC. Like wow, dude. But the main guy who made the game is not a part of the company anymore, so they probably did some stuff behind, while he was gone, of course. They can't afford to make a sequel without the main guy, so they're just going to add on characters, I guess. But yeah, Skullgirls, definitely a really good game. Definitely something you guys want to try out. The more accessible one right now is probably the Switch version because that was sold in like retail stores. So if you see it out there at your local GameStop, maybe it's on Amazon too. I think it was a GameStop exclusive.
As well?
Huh?
There's a Vita version as well?
The Vita version is available, but that was like through limited run. So you have to look at a secondhand seller to sell it. With the Switch version, GameStop had it here in America as an exclusive, I remember. That's where I got my copy from. So just to kind of put that information out for people if they want to pick it up easily instead of going online. And wow. I guess that's all I have for like a unique fighting games. I have a couple more here, but I think everybody pretty much knows about them. But yeah.
I got something that's a little bit different to show. I pulled some common ones out, but I pulled out a special edition that might be a little bit unique. So
here
we have the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 We Are Tekken Edition. And what I love about this is this is peak limited editions for PS3. This box is about 2 kilos because they absolutely filled this to the brim. There's a metal case in here. There's a soundtrack, a remix soundtrack. You've got the game, a behind-the-scenes CD. So it's 4 CDs, an art book, all packed in this tiny little box. Like, this is peak buying collector's editions PS3, and it looks absolutely amazing. And it just so happens that I love Tekken Tag Tournament, so I love this edition.
Tekken got so much love on the PS3, man.
Oh, every Tekken game got a fight collector's edition.
Hell yeah.
So good.
And the crossovers, the Street Fighter, and then the combo packs with all that stuff.
You got
so I don't.
for...
Yeah, I mean, so I don't really have. I mean, I have fighting games for sure, but it's nothing that's going to blow you guys away. I have all the Tekkens.
Well, I can show you guys some stuff here.
Wow. But I do have just some pickups. You just want to see some pickups?
Sure. Well, yeah. They always ready to see some pickups. I had some people hitting me up in the comments. Hey, Reggie, when's your next pickups video? I'm like, dang, we had one.
Always, dude. Dude, that's because they want to know what to buy, Reggie. They sit there with their paycheck and they're waiting for you.
That's the thing, man. Like after all these years, like my knowledge of games, man, has really intrigued a lot of people, man. Like I got a lot of like people saying, man, thanks to you, I got this game. I had no idea this existed.
Well,
like, wow.
You definitely shine some light on some stuff that's a little more unknown. That's appreciated, and it's quality stuff too. You're not showing just like, hey, this is just some weird game. It's like, this is a game you might not have heard of. That's good. That only came out in this territory or only got released in this version, or so that stuff is appreciative.
Oh, I enjoy just listening to you and Jason talk about games sitting on the couch. It just feels real and authentic. And
dude, we were actually talking. I know we were actually talking. He was in Japan. He's like, Reggie, I got some great stuff for a pickups video. You're going to be blown away. We were like talking about our next one, how big it's going to be.
He went to Japan? Oh, damn.
Yeah, he just actually pretty much got back from Japan, man. So he was actually hanging out there with Kinsey, and they went all this stuff, man. He did a podcast with Kinsey. I saw.
Oh, that's cool.
Him and his wife are just having a great time in Japan. And I was really happy because they got to stay like almost 3 weeks, I believe. So
that's so sick.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mel Jason's new videos. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
See, if I went over there, I'd have to bring back an Astro Mini or an Astro Sega Astro Machine arcade. Like
so with empty suitcases, you bring back full ones.
Yeah. Or ship the clothes back, and like Jason did.
Why are you going with 30 empty bags? No reason.
I went with a suitcase inside a suitcase, so you don't look weird. They opened my suitcase, and it was an empty suitcase, and the guy's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going there to buy video games. On the way back, they're like, what's in the bag? And I smiled and went, video games.
Nice.
All right, so this got reprinted by Video Games VGP, so I picked it up. Dusk Diver one.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Man, that's
different cover or just
no, just the same as the original. But I don't have like a ton of PS4 RPGs, but I have a pretty respectable collection, and there's a few that I've been after. So I picked this one up just because it was a good price. I didn't do the buy two get Kitaria Fables for free because I don't need Kitaria Fables. I'm good. So I picked that one up. It was super cheap. But then they had these two, and I've wanted these forever, and I've just been bite the bullet and picked them up finally. So I picked up the two Knights of Azure.
Oh, nice one.
Dude, nice. Those games are actually really well done, man.
So that's what I mean. So there's a lot of games that I'm like kind of on the fence of, but these games look great. Like they look legitimately fun, and I've always wanted them. And they were always one of those games that I'm like, I'll find them cheap someday. Somebody will have them secondhand. I'll come across them, one of those things. And like 3 times they slipped through my hands. And I finally was like, whatever. These are sealed. They're new. The condition's great. I'm just going to pick these up because the odds of me finding them in nice condition for a good price is just not.
You're spot on. I've had both of those titles, and I've never seen them cheap, ever.
But a collector's edition for those games is like insane. So,
I bet.
Yeah.
So I've seen, it's always the same story. So there'll be a post someone puts up on Marketplace or whatever. It'll be like 300 games. And, there's like 15 in there that are good. And I'm like, hey, I'm interested in your games. Here's what I want. And he's like, every one of those is gone. All I have left is this one. Like always, all the good games are gone. All I have left is Madden. And
it's always the case.
Like, all right, cool, man. Post it up for 5 minutes.
It's available, but you have to buy everything.
I would do it if as long as the price was reasonable. I'll resell it all to get the games. I will. I have no problem doing that. But it's never even that. It's always like, oh yeah, no, all the good stuff's gone. I sold it for $1 a piece. Why? I'm like, no reason.
There's some vultures on those sites, man. Whew.
Yeah,
they're waiting, watching at all times.
They really are, dude. Like nonstop, all day, every day. It's just like whatever. All right, so this one, I've wanted to pick this up forever, and I never wanted to spend the money on it, but I finally did. So
what's that?
Unequivocally, hands down, best in the series. I don't care what anybody says. There's no argument. Here it is, the best. You probably knew this was
Why
coming.
does this
Reggie.
game remind me of Reggie?
Dude. So
I'm glad you were here for this pickup that finally came in, dude.
me and Media Glitch played that game years ago, like when the pandemic first started. And we had so much fun with that game, dude. Like
Yeah.
we had four people. We just went to town because basically you get to go to the landscapes of Resident Evil and have like a 2-on-2 battle. So you're in the mansion and you're in the Raccoon City police station, like hiding, and it's fun. But obviously single player is where it's kind of lame at. But I think it's still a good pickup, man.
Dude, you know
that cover is sick.
Hell yeah! So this is the Asian region cover with the no rating or whatever.
Yep.
There's a Korean version too that is English, but this never got like a Western release. If you guys are interested, and if you want to have like all of the Resident Evil games on PS4, which I do. Now I don't know if I'm going to go for all variants because there are so many versions of Part 7. Oh my god! Yeah. I already probably own half of them just because of the VR collection. Holy crap! But like, yeah, I'm not buying the house and all the other stuff. But anyway, you had to pick this one up too. So
was that expensive, Joe?
I got this for a pretty good deal, dude. I got it for $50 shipped from Thailand, and I think the shipping was like $10. I paid like 60, and I see it going for more than that quite often. So it's not a lot more. It's not like a $200 game or anything, but it probably goes, I'd say 80 to 100 somewhere. In good condition, sealed. They're probably way like over 100 for sure.
I remember watching Reggie's review back in the day, and I've watched other reviews on that game, and every single one of them is negative. It was the only review I watched that was positive of that game.
Yeah,
but
you're
right. That's why
it was a different experience.
That's why Reggie's the GOAT, though, because he don't give a shit about what other people say. He plays the game, and he just tells you if he likes it. That's why I watch Reggie. Yeah, that's why everybody else watches Reggie, because you just like, I had fun. I don't give a shit what this was fun, and that's all. And you're like, if you're an actual Resident Evil fan. So your opinion matters more than somebody who's just reviewing the latest Resident Evil game or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's not the same. Like, if you're a fan of something, you're going to like it more than, like, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. So I'm going to be way more of a fan of that stuff than your average person who plays an Evil Dead game. If you're just looking at it from an objective point of view, like, I'm going to be like, dude, I don't care if it's bad. It's freaking Bruce. You just bow down and worship it. I don't care if it is what it is. All right, so my last pickup was I ordered a couple of these bad boys, and those came in today, so I'm pretty excited. I got these.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting 2 more, but I have to see if I can convince people to come over and play Mario Party first before I spend all that money.
So your level of pickup is like, man, like, dang, you're on it, man.
I had a good week.
They got reprinted, Joe?
What, these?
They were going for like $400 at one point, right?
What?
So the way it works is like you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership to buy them. Like,
which is good. Got scalpers and stuff.
Yeah, and I believe they have like a limit per household that you can purchase, or per subscription or whatever. And so I literally I can't even remember. I was on some Facebook group and somebody was like, "Hey, Nintendo, let me buy these like an hour ago," and I went, "Oh, cool. I want to see if they'll let me buy those." And I was able to snag a couple. And the real reason I got these was that I found out that they work on the Steam Deck. And like I just loaded that thing up with N64 games. And oh yeah, these are gonna get used real soon. Can't wait to try them. And then just so you guys know, where is the thing? This, if anyone's ever interested, you can get these too. Which I might order these too, though. So Brawler 64, they make these Bluetooth Nintendo Switch Online N64 controllers, and you can use them on Switch and PC. And they have like a little toggle switch, and you can switch between like the N64 button layout and like a normal like Switch button layout, so you can use them for regular games too.
And you can use them with like a fighting controller as well with a 6 button.
Yeah, and it's a little more comfortable. So if you don't like the the regular N64 design, that you can get those too. And I'm a sicko, so I think I'm literally going to get 2 more of these, and I think I'm going to get 4 of those too. I'm going to have them all because I'm like, dude, that's like my real sickness is I have so many controllers, dude. I have I have Wiimotes out the ass. I got controllers, dude. Like I draws.
Yeah, but it's like plastic tubs, and you open them, and you're like, oh, there's like 40 controllers, and then you look underneath, and there's another tub, and it's full of them. You're like,
dude,
oh,
I got
shit.
4 Wavebirds. I got everything, man. I'm obsessed. I
Yeah,
love
you're
having the
ready to go,
peripherals.
man.
Dude,
Dude, the
I
Wavebirds was so like
have
crazy
some
to get.
fighting game to show off if you guys don't mind. Someone in chat
Yeah.
reminded me of it, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. And that's something.
Oh, what
to
you
talk
got?
about.
What's
So
up?
here's one that I was after this for about a year because it's pretty expensive. So I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I love my JRPGs, and Final Fantasy VII actually had a fighting game spin-off. So
Yes.
here we have a Rix.
Better guys.
I remember that in arcades, dude.
So we've got like Cloud and everyone from Final Fantasy VII. This was a heap of fun too. It was
That guy on the left, wasn't that me in the thumbnail? I think that. I mean, yeah.
yeah. I think
Just
this
like
is the
one.
thumbnail.
Fixie. You know what? You want to know something funny, Fixie? Since like Namco and SquareSoft worked together, they were trying to intertwine the worlds of the characters and everything like that. So that guy in the cover that has the gun as the hand, I think that's God Hand. He was supposed to be Kazuya Mishima's brother, half brother from Tekken. Yeah,
That's why
his
I
name's-
recognize him. That makes sense.
so he's
I'm
called
like,
God
what
Hand
the hell?
Mishima.
Man's character's that again?
It was so weird. Like in the arcade, when I went to the arcade, it was called the Lamo Mall, where I lived at, and that arcade was there and nobody was playing it. You know, it was just like it was very gimmicky at the time. Nobody was like willing to try something new. Like everybody was still on like Street Fighter and stuff like that, and Marvel and whatever. So that game got no play. I played it. It's kind of weird to get used to the controls, but it's actually a really fun game once you get used to it, man. No doubt about it.
And I believe it only had a PAL release. There isn't even a Japanese copy.
No, they
Okay,
got a
yeah.
Japanese copy, and it came out in America too. I was
Oh,
surprised they
okay.
got a PAL copy. I'd never seen that one before. That's cool.
This is actually the cleanest case I've got too. It's like it feels brand new.
Yeah.
Paid like $250 for it. So
Fixie, do they sell like generic, like third party cases for like those, or do you have to like just
so
wait to
what
get a
we
sports
used to
title?
do is PS1 collectors would buy sealed copies of cheap games.
See games and just
And
use
up
those.
until 2017, you could buy copies of Gun from Germany for like $1 each. But even today, brand new PS1 cases, you're looking at like $20 to $30.
Oh man, 'cause
Australian cases. So Australia uses the CD style, so we can still swip them over. But there is no way to get your UK style PAL cases unless you're buying new games.
wow, man, everybody wants that. They get those sealed games and try to grade them now.
I remember at first
Which
started
is shocking to
collecting,
me.
there were like 500 copies of Gun sealed on eBay, and I would laugh at, that's one, I'll add that to the collection one day. And no, people were buying it to like gut it and take the cases.
Oh, I did that. I told you I have. What do I have it? Yeah, dude, I have like 50 copies of Elder Scrolls.
Wow.
I have so many copies of Elder Scrolls, dude. I have bags and bags and bags of these games because I've just been using it for cases. So I hate to tell you, whoever wins the quiz, you're getting Elder Scrolls. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey guys, before we do finish, I wanted to do a definitive top 5 fighting games between the three of us. So the way this will work is we'll just pick franchises, and we're going to do it off how critically acclaimed it is, how many people play it, how it's had influence on other fighting games, and other criteria we can add. Let me get a little notepad up here. Share screen.
S&K Heroines, number 1.
Yeah, you'll be your number 1, huh?
Just go now. I'm just fucking around. This shouldn't be controversial. Everybody agrees on everything usually.
Yeah. Do we have any suggestions for number 1?
For me,
Whoa.
like
We're
favorite
talking
fighting game.
about- Yeah, like we will have to agree on it. So
Okay, so I like a game with a lot of characters in it. I mean, a lot of characters shows, there's a lot to do and everything. So I'm going to go with number one being the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match. One of the best fighting games of all time.
Okay.
Nobody better disagree. Everybody has to agree. I got my buddy Sticks here. I know he agrees with me because he's always got my back, except when it comes to Resident Evil 3, which he for some reason he can't beat that game. But yeah, Sticks, I know you're still in the chat.
So whoa, what? That was a little dig right there. I don't know why.
I know, man. I went in
for some
deep
reason.
there, so.
He can't. He's not good at it, but that could be.
But the King of the Fighters franchise, why I chose it because it's one of those. It's one of those series that's always stayed the same, but always added enough to make it new. You know what I mean? To keep it fresh. And with each game they did, because remember, you guys remember they were doing the games yearly back in the day. They added something great and new, and they also took everything seriously. They added a story mode to it. They gave you plenty of characters, styles to choose from. You just felt like, and it had great soundtracks too. The only thing that would knock this game back is they had the cheapest bosses you ever seen. Like the bosses are cheap, but I have to put
like
this
the
one
game. You mean
as number one? Yeah, they're oh gosh, don't let me get into that.
Did that one have like
a fun number 12 or 13? What was the one before Atlas?
Oh my god, King of Fighters 12 was the dream match one, which was oh my, that was horrible. But 11.
Yeah, now that you bring up bad fighting games, that's the one that I picked.
That's the one biggest King of Fighters 12. I can agree with you on that, man. It's so unfinished, so horrible. But yeah, I would have to go to King of Fighters here. Hopefully, you guys maybe somewhat agree. I don't know.
I would argue that it's not my number one, but I would argue that Super Smash Brothers should be number one for the fact that it's an esport. So many more.
This would happen. We're gonna freaking agree.
You started a battle here, man. This is why he waited to the end. He wanted to make this battle happen.
Yeah,
I would not even put that game on my top 10 list, but I never got into it, so I'm not trying to disrespect the game. But
that's a good point though. Like, should it even be on the list? So that's a
yes, because it is very popular, and it's one of the games that's helped the fighting community become popular. People have looked at fighting games because of games like that. People who wouldn't have played fighting games see a Mario fighting game like that, which I'm going to go out on Mario fighting games, and Mario's a mascot. But they look at that, and they say, well, other fighting games are like this kind of, or what other fighting games are out there? So that game really helped the fighting community, I would say. But I'm not a fan of it at all. I would never play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I never got.
I wouldn't play it today, but I feel like it should be on our list. Do you want to put it in at number 5? You guys agree on that?
Yeah, 5 is good.
I mean, it's got the scene is amazing.
Oh, Fixie, I guess I jumped the gun starting with number 1. I thought we were going with number 1 first.
Oh, we can go back to number 1. I just wanted.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's better to go like this route. So yeah, so
the only one that I would argue could fight King of Fighters for me would be Tekken. I got into fighting games PS1 era, and for me it was Tekken.
What if we do it?
The goat.
What if we do it like 2D fighting games though? Like 3D has their own little section, or do you guys just want to mix it all into one?
Oh,
yeah, that's all one. Might as well. We'll be here all night and we do the different types. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, King of Fighters, like in terms of longevity, it's hard to argue against that. There's so many more titles too.
Yeah, they've been bringing out the heat and keeping us laced up. Okay, so number 4. We all have to agree.
4. So we got. So the order is harder to determine.
I think we'll get number 1 out of the road first, and then
number 1 is unquestionably King of Fighters. No one can disagree.
You agree with that too, Joe?
Reggie's the guest, so
I have to fight for that one, dude. I love it.
To decide. We actually have to play all 5 games to determine who is right.
Well, I'm thinking about it like this. Like if I had a choice of 5 fighting games, like I had to play the rest of my life, that's how I'm choosing this list. Like these are the only ones I can play. That's how it makes it easier to choose this type of list. And I know King of the Fighters. It's just, man, this game has made me so happy over the years because it's a good fighting game and it has a good story to it. Cheap bosses, but I'm able to look past that because I know how to get past them. But yeah,
so many good franchises, guy.
So if we're going to number 2,
WWE, but then I can't.
No, let's keep wrestling separate.
It's more of a sport.
Wrestling separate.
Yeah,
because I want to do. I think we should do we're gonna do like a wrestling episode specifically about wrestling games. Yeah, we should. Just like arena fighters are like slightly different in my opinion. When you say fighting games, I don't think of Air Geese and Power Stone as much as I think of Tekken and King of Fighters and Street Fighter. Those but so the franchises. I mean, it's five of all time. I mean, Street Fighter has to be on there. Tekken has to be on there, right?
And Mortal Kombat has to be on there, right? Those three.
Not necessarily.
No, maybe not Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, I think, wasn't the.
Come on, because the first 3 Mortal Kombat games, they were fun, but honestly,
they're not the greatest game. Yeah, exactly. They're like uppercuts and sweeps. It's all.
Yeah.
It wasn't mechanically. I wouldn't say because I'm with. See, I don't know if you saw that, but tell you, Marvel vs. Capcom.
Whew.
Especially two. And I hate to say it because I love Soul Calibur, but Soul Calibur I freaking love. I bumped that off the list for Marvel vs. Capcom because I think those games are.
And speaking of that game, folks, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is actually a good game, despite the season pass they tried with it. But man, this game is a lot of fun. And unfortunately, it's the last Marvel vs. Capcom game we got, but that series has been really hardcore, and it's really been like just in general awesome.
So then, can we agree the final 3 would be Tekken, Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom? We just got to work out.
Yes, I would say yes. If we're going with top 5, I mean, honestly, if we did it, I mean, I would knock Smash out, but I can't fix it because just for what it's brought to fighting games.
What it's done for fighting games, you have to have it on there.
Yeah,
this is our list. No, we don't.
RPGs and Pokemon kind of had to be on there because of what it done for video game. So, second, Street Fighter?
Yes.
I'd say Street Fighter is the most. If you want to talk about influential games, Street Fighter's got to go now.
I mean, it's Street Fighter is on point. You guys have probably seen the clips I've been adding on Instagram with Street Fighter, the cartoon. Like, Street Fighter got a cartoon, an anime, a movie, multiple
Which Street
sequels.
Fighter, though? Turbo Edition or Championship Edition? Come on.
We got to go with Turbo, man, because Turbo was the one where you were able to almost do fireballs in the air. Oh, no, it's Hyper Fight. Well, there's so many versions of Street Fighter.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know which one to pick.
Yeah.
We'll just say Street
and then
Fighter.
4, we're going to go Tekken?
The Tekken series, yes.
Tekken, yeah.
Even though Tekken 1 is unplayable. So is Street Fighter 1, though.
I don't play Tekken 1. 2 is still all right, but 3 is
still good.
Yeah.
I've still got memories of playing 1, by the way, even though it was not that good of a game. Like in 1996, it was.
So I love 3 through 5, all of those 3, 4, tag, and 5. Freaking amazing.
And the Marvel vs. Capcom series actually started with X-Men: Children of the Atom because Akuma was actually an unlockable character in that game, which a lot of people don't know about. So dude, I remember us playing that game in arcades, and I think it was on the Saturn, right? I think I might have played it on the Saturn. On the Saturn and PlayStation of all systems. I had that version. Ugh.
Dude, I was just I was blown away by that game, dude. When freaking Cyclops would light up the whole freaking screen,
blast.
Dude. I'm just like, this game is on another level, and you could jump 50 feet in the air, and it was
dude. And Joe, they got the original voice actors from the cartoon to voice the characters in the game, which was awesome.
And they all look the way you want them to look. That 90s cartoon look. Like Gambit looks perfect. Wolverine looks perfect. They all look perfect. Oh, dude, now I want to play that game right now.
Speaking of that game, man, Magneto was a tough boss, man. He's one of the toughest bosses ever for Capcom, at least for me.
The bastard. Yeah.
Because he would bring out that magnetic shield and you couldn't touch him. And it would last as long as he wanted it to last. You couldn't break that thing. I was dude.
But guys, there you have it. That's our definitive top 5 list of fighting game franchises.
Yes.
Super Smash Brothers, Marvel vs. Capcom, Tekken, Street Fighter, and number 1, we went with King of Fighters. If you agree or disagree, let us know in the comments. Let us know your top 5 as well. It'd be awesome to hear everyone's suggestions. Because everyone's opinion's different. That's what's good about video games.
Right.
If you agree, just say so in the chat. If you disagree, you should super chat.
Luckily, we were all able to agree on this list here.
Yeah, we did it with RPGs, fighting games, and I like this, what we do. Next time we'll do an episode of beat 'em ups. We'll get you back on, Reggie, and we'll do the same thing.
Sounds good.
I don't know. I think Biofreak should have been on the list, guys.
Ooh,
That game looked real good.
the only game we couldn't recognize was the Biofreaks in that list.
I
now I want to check it out to see what kind of fighting game it is, though.
it's pretty garbage looking. I mean, it might be all right. I have no idea. But when I went through my throwing stuff in my Steam Deck, I was like, that was a nope. I was like, yeah, no, that's a nope. That's a nope. I have been playing Soul Blade though. One again. The game's really amazing.
Those games still live up, man, which is fantastic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of 3D fighters sometimes don't live up to, these days, but that one just does.
Yeah, it does. So does Soul Calibur 1. It's still a great game. It still plays really fantastic.
Oh, that's what I meant to tell you guys earlier. My favorite Soul Calibur is actually a weird one, but it's 3.
You like
3? 3 had all the content in it, man, and they also brought back Siegfried, like back in his normal form, which was awesome because he's one of my favorite characters.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that game added a lot, and it had the most insane Soul Calibur boss in there with Night Terror, which was a mixture of Nightmare and some other Abyss
Inferno or something.
and Abyss together in one. Yeah, crazy boss.
One of them, Cyrus said. He said Americans aren't as into Mortal Kombat as Europeans are, so that's quite interesting. Because being in Australia, actually, Mortal Kombat was this huge fighting game series. And talking to you guys, don't think it's as big as like Tekken's.
It was as big. I'm not going to say it wasn't a phenomenon because it was. It was a huge deal. But I'm talking about as an actual fighting game.
Yeah, not just the gimmicks of killing people and stuff like that. Like Mortal Kombat was known for.
It had the cool graphics. It had the gore. It had the edginess to it. But like the actual fighting mechanics, I just don't think were.
And let's ask, and we can ask this too to people.
Compared to Tekken, not even in the same universe. Now, maybe later on, you're talking like Mortal Kombat 3 on. It started to get a little crazy. I feel like in 3 and 4, the moves started to get a little more crazy.
But would people like Mortal Kombat still? Like if it didn't have fatalities in it? You just had the gameplay. Do you think it would have been as popular?
I don't think so. No, and it wouldn't sell as many copies today. Like that's
exactly. That's why that gimmick is always what's really the selling factor for it. The violence you could do.
That's why they make a dumbed down version of the game, so you can still do that because that's what people want to do.
The Super Nintendo version, so I can sweat off people.
It's the same as GTA 3. Like that first one was so edgy, everybody had it, but it's not the one that ideally you want to play. You'll probably play
3 and up,
or something, or even like Vice City or something. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't want to downplay Mortal Kombat, but we only get to pick 5, guys. I could tell you this. Like I said, I could put Soul Calibur on the list, and I love Soul Calibur. So.
If we did a top 10 list, those
would definitely be on there.
Smash Brothers would be further down, but we'd agree that it would have to be on there, and like Guilty Gear would be on the list, and Virtual Fighter didn't even get mentioned in our conversations.
So I was going to ask you guys about Virtua Fighter. I'm a mixed. I was never good at those first few games. Like I liked 4. I liked Virtua Fighter 4, but the first few I was just.
It's awful. Very technical. When because Virtua Fighter utilizes kind of like it does utilize parrying and blocking, of course, and being able to go around the characters and to do certain moves and reversals. I mean, Virtua Fighter 4, man, was really the one that really stepped up the game for it, but it was a difficult game. I mean, certain characters are easy to use, like Jackie and Sarah. But if you try to use someone like Akira or something like that, man, you really got to be on game. Or Vanessa. They're difficult characters to use, but when you master them, you can do a lot of damage, but there's a reason why you don't see a lot of people playing those games, man, because they're very technical.
They were hard, yeah.
They
were hard. We didn't even mention. I mean, Killer Instinct didn't get on the list, guys. So I mean,
that's a great one to be on the list too.
It's almost like the games have to have started back in the day and still have longevity today to even be mentioned.
They only got 3 games, right? Like part 1, 2, gold, and then the one on the Xbox now, so 4 games.
I never played Bloody Roar. Are they good? I never actually played those games. They remind me of this game I was trying to remember on the Sega Saturn that I couldn't remember. It's on the Dreamcast too. It's called Fighting Vipers, I think it's called. That's what it was called. Okay, yeah,
that's what Bloody Roar reminds me of. But you could like morph into an animal and then do even crazier combos and stuff like that. They're pretty fun games.
Yeah, one of my guilty pleasures was always Primal Rage. I loved that game, dude.
Really?
The
They actually had
dinosaurs with the monkeys and stuff. Yeah, it was never like a great.
There was a
game or
part 2 that
anything,
didn't
but
get
I loved
released,
it,
dude,
but
which is crazy.
that makes me sad. But I liked that game. I'd put it like it's like Clay Fighter. It's like the same type of like game. It's not like whatever.
When we do the beat 'em ups video, man, a game I want to talk about with you guys is the one they found like a few years ago, Beavis and Butthead, the beat 'em up arcade game. You guys remember when they found that?
Yeah.
Freaking insane! They found that game, dude, and they released it. Like there's one arcade or a couple arcades of it out there, but insane, dude.
I'm hoping that they eventually re-release the Simpsons arcade again. I love that. And
they took it off the PlayStation Network. I'm luckily I still have my copy, but I missed out on the other ones like X-Men and a couple other ones to have on my account.
Scott Pilgrim I missed out on, but obviously they've now got a physical copy of
Thankfully.
that.
Yeah.
But that was one that like I used to scream, Scott Pilgrim, we missed that game, and finally we've got it again.
Dude, we'll have to do the Beatles one pretty soon. I have to ask you guys this, man. You guys have both played Scott Pilgrim and 99 Vitas, right?
I only watched the
99
gameplay of
Vitas.
99 Vitas, but it looked really good.
Oh, I was going to ask you guys which one do you think was better. I personally like 99 Vitas, but when I tell people that over Scott Pilgrim, they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no
I'm
way.
tempted to open my sealed copy to play it after watching your video. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for those of you in the chat, definitely check out my last video, the Beat 'em Ups video. A lot of people are liking it.
It was
It's really good, guys. If you're a fan of Reggie, if you're a fan of Beat 'em Ups, it was a great video.
Yeah,
Dude,
skinny.
I'm 100% getting those Dungeons and Dragons games that you should.
Yeah, I must. And it's a physical too, bro. The physical
Hell
is
yeah,
the
dude.
the physical version for that on the PS3 is actually better than getting the digital one because you could play the game in 1080p. But still, you might want to get both just in case. But yeah, getting that physical is on point, man.
Yeah, dude, that's so up my alley. Like I loved those types of fantasy games, especially. Like I love that stuff. So it looks so
Vixie, he's saying no, Reggie, to 99 Vitas over Scott Pilgrim.
So,
Genesis is NHL fight segments considered a fight?
yeah.
Shoot, if they weren't so short. Remember Blades of Steel? I don't know if you guys know. That's probably going way back.
That. Yeah, dude, I was just gonna say Blades of Steel.
We used to love fighting in that game because you had the power bar and everything.
I used to love fighting in just ice hockey too. You had the little chubby dude versus the little skinny dude.
Yep.
I still love that, dude. It was so fun.
God,
So I was gonna get 99 Vitas after your video, but it's so expensive, Reggie. What the heck, bro?
Oh, really?
dude, I had no idea. Well,
version was mad
it was what
expensive.
it's the
Switch one
second
might-
game. It's the second game that Strictly Limited did for when they first opened the company because their first game was some
it was
weird
the third game.
Tokyo 2000s. I can't remember
Griffin
what it was.
Knight
dude.
Epic was the second
It's
game.
Tokyo 42, I think it's called.
What
Yeah,
was that,
Tokyo
Fixie?
42, Griffin Knight Epic, and that was the third game.
Oh, it's third. Okay, yeah, but it was like one that really opened a lot of people's eyes because it was a beat 'em up. But and it stayed on their website for a while, but then eventually it sold out. Then the price gets raised because no one else put a physical out for it. So
I had a Vita copy and sold it for like a little bit more than I paid for it because I'm like, I'll collect for the Vita. No, I'll sell it and buy PS4 games.
What's weird, Fixie, is the definitive version of the game is the Switch version because it comes with the DLC. They add it to the game, implemented into the story. So there's a level called The First of Us, which is based off The Last of Us. And there's a level from Streets of Rage, the beach levels. Like it's really cool how they added levels from games they love playing into that game. So yeah, definitely something to look out for, folks.
Kids were saying that there's an update that fixed a lot for it as well.
Yeah, I mean that's when it's probably pretty cheap to pick up digitally, so maybe I'll just pick it up to play.
But we know we don't want to pick up nothing digital, man. It has to be physical because
I don't. Yeah,
that's how we are, man.
You don't want that little message to pop up to say, to register this game, you need to sign in. Otherwise, we're going to close the game in 15 minutes.
That must have been a horrible feeling, dude. Like when you saw that, you're like, what? Why did I even buy this physical
I
game?
felt like I just put all my money down the drain. Like,
What happens if some kind of storm happens, your internet goes out. The game says, hey, well, we don't know if you're playing, so we're going to stop. That's insane. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time I got so mad at that was the Evil Dead game because they had the single player content. You know, they had those little missions you could do or whatever. You needed to be online to even access the single player content for first. And I explained it. I remember trying to play it. It was like servers are offline. You can't play your game. I'm like, I can't even play my game at all. I just bought this game. You won't let me play it at all. Like I was so mad. This is so stupid.
What's going on, man? They just the whole gaming market is changed so much, man. Where they have to know you're online. They have to, or
see what you're doing. They got to be watching you, smelling you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we might wrap that up as a show. It's been really good having you back on, Reggie, as always.
That was fun.
Guys, be
Thank you
sure to
for-
subscribe to Reggie. He's almost at 100,000.
Hell
almost
yeah.
at 4,000. Subscribe to my channel as well. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, Bigsy's super close. I'm almost to like 20. So
Joe's almost at
you don't,
20.
you don't have to sub to me.
Everyone in
That'll just put pressure on me
right
to
now.
do something. So I would actually be like, if you guys all subbed, I'd be like, oh god, now I have to do something. Don't do that.
Your phone's gonna blow up after this show.
And we've got plenty more
I'll start
shows
a
coming up,
poetry
guys.
channel.
This weekend, we've got Andy and Sylvan coming on for a podcast team. So be sure if you want to see the whole team together, check out that show. Next week, we've got a regular from chat, Radio to Rancid, coming on. Radio's been in chat from pretty much day one, so it's going to be awesome to talk to Radio. And then following weekend, we have Too Old for Gaming coming back on. He's the guy that wrote the PS3 book that I showed off last week. And he's doing a new project, which is a PlayStation magazine. It's a retro PlayStation magazine. It's really cool. And he's going to be talking about the project on the show. So be sure to tune in for that. And as always, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, everybody.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk again when we got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance.